What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Welcome to the Black Cat Panther podcast, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. It is training camp day 2. You out here with your favorite crew, and y'all already know we're going to get into it as we do. We're going to tell it like it is. Now, day 2 has come out. There has been a lot of stuff said day 2. I'm just trying to figure out where does the truth align amongst a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing? What's up, J Issue? How you living over there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Not much, not much. Just woke up from a nap. We finna talk about it.
Man, look at here. There's a lot that's been going on. Bryce Young threw an interception today in camp. Camus, Camus out there. I can't never pronounce his name good, but is it Camus or Kamai? How is it pronounced?
Who? Is it a
Gru-
linebacker? Is
yeah, Gruger Hill, the linebacker. The
Oh, just
guy I
say
was
Hill. You
just
know what I
talking
mean?
about.
Just
Yeah,
keep it
Hill.
short.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was doing too much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, Gruger Hill, that guy came out. He intercepted your boy Bryce Young, and I'm telling you, he was in position to make a play on the ball, and I'm telling you, he might be a sneaky good pickup for the Carolina Panthers, man. What you think about that, J Issue?
Well, when I looked at his stats, he didn't really do much. So I mean, if he popped out, he surprised me.
Well, I mean, his stats wasn't bad. He had 108 tackles last year.
Mm,
108, 108, bro.
okay, okay.
I mean, okay. So he's not a world beater, but he has a great first step. I saw some of his highlights. The guy is he's pretty fluent, man.
Okay,
I don't
that's
think
that's good then.
I don't think that's a guy that we need to come out here and be a superstar, but he is in the right position at the right time so far in camp.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. There's a lot of different things we're gonna get into. Look, Steve Smith, Musa Muhammad came out today and they have gave Jonathan Mingo the torch. Now, you know I feel some kind of way about that one already. Little young nigga ain't did a damn thing yet in the NFL, ain't caught a damn pass yet, and they done gave him the torch. Somebody explain to me what torch does this boy need to be carrying right now? What torch?
Well, the good news, well, it might be bad news, or it is bad news because DJ Moore is supposed to have that torch. You know what I'm saying? Smitty passed the torch on to him, and he probably let him down. So it's somebody new got to step in the door.
Oh, here we go. Now, so Smitty, I remember Steve Smith sat up there at that podium and said the Carolina Panthers haven't replaced him until they got DJ. So now Mingo is replacing him. Wide receiver number 4 on the depth chart is now the guy now. That's what I'm hearing.
The depth chart wasn't set yet. It wasn't set in stone. It looked like he's a second receiver as today,
Man,
right under Adam.
yeah, that's what it
Yep,
is.
yep.
Look, look. I stop the bullshit, G issue. Stop the bullshit. The little bitch ain't catch a pass yet in the NFL, and they already rolling out the red carpet for his ass.
Oh, you too
I,
disrespectful.
it, no, what's disrespectful is putting this boy on a damn pedestal. That's
Hey,
what's disrespectful.
somebody need to carry that torch.
Well, what's the issue? Didn't y'all tell me Mr. Plastic was like that?
I didn't say that. Hey, I'm not on the record. If you can find it, I'll give you $100.
Look at here, Mr. J issue. They say Mr. Plastic was like that. This is his breakout year. This is the year jubilee for Terence Marshall Jr. And now all of a sudden, I'm looking around for Panthers fans, and now they have pushed him out of the way and said Mingo is the guy to go forward. Now I get it. If you get both of those guys to develop, you're looking at a good future duo. But wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. The same guy that was ahead of Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, y'all telling me he ain't worth a damn no more. The torch should go to Mingo?
Man, look at here. Who did we have at offensive coordinator last year?
We had your boy,
Two 2 years ago, matter
hmm?
of fact. 2 years ago.
Joe Brady 2 years ago.
And he was the fresh offensive coordinator. They want to please him, so they gave him what he wanted, which was his boy. He wasn't even the passing coordinator at LSU. He was just a coach to coach with the receivers. But they gave him that
Man,
title.
look at.
The man couldn't get on the field.
Mm,
It is what it is.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Right now I'm traveling. I'm on my way to Spartanburg because it's training camp time. But I hope when I get to training camp, I can get better than what I've been seeing and hearing. You know what I'm saying? I hope that I can get better. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now, man. If you're just coming on in, make sure y'all like, subscribe, man, comment. Look, my man said TMJ is up next. First of all, DTO, I see you, brother. I see you. Steve Smith, ever since he went out on the limb on draft day, and told the Carolina Panthers to pick Mingo, he's been working with this boy one on one. One on one. Now, the guy who y'all claim that had all the talent, which is Terence Marshall Jr., I have not seen Steve Smith work with this boy not one damn day. Please, somebody tell me what's going on. I don't understand the J issue.
I mean, I'll do. Hey,
Hmm?
Camden turned that cord in for TMJ. He turned it in for shit for Mingo. I'm all right with him wanting to be the big brother and help him come along. I mean, he wasn't there for DJ. Remember, he wasn't on them sidelines. He used to tell Cam Newton, should I put DJ in on fantasy? So he was kind of picking at him to get some fire out of him, but it just didn't work. So it is what it is.
Well, you got to go back and dig into that a little bit more because, first of all, Cam Newton, I mean, Steve Smith was at that moment, he wasn't on the best terms with the Carolina Panthers when
No,
that
he
was
wasn't.
happening. And so, of course, him being hands on with DJ Moore, it just didn't happen. And DJ was already in year 3, year 4 when Steve Smith started coming around. So he was already a made receiver. It just, he never took that next step to go to the next level. But I'm gonna tell you, make no mistake about it. Steve Smith should have been working with that guy just as much as he working with Mingo. To me, I need to know why is it this boy feels like. Why doesn't everybody feel like he's the chosen one right now? What am I
Hmm.
missing?
Well, it wasn't absent. We all want Smitty to be a coach right after he retired with the Ravens. Well, did he come back and retire with us? I feel like he did like a few years later down
Yeah.
the line, but he was going through stuff mentally, and he couldn't come in the building as he is now. So I'm all right
So,
with him being a Mingo mentor right now. I'm all right with it.
hmm shout out to Jackson B.O. Bruner. I don't know if I pronounced that right. He was like, "How do we feel about Lavisca?" First of all, I like Lavisca Chenault. Frank Wright got up to the podium and they talked about his usage in the offense. And basically, he said, in a nutshell, for what we have for Lavisca, it'll be a handful of plays. They're going to ease him into the offense. They're not going to really put him out there much. Now, your coach said this today. They are going to ease Lavisca into the offense. So to everybody, which that means Wiley, you're going to be owing me some money, Wiley, because you told me Lavisca was going to come out here and be heavily spread like Debo Samuel. That's what you told me. Your coach just came out here today and said they're not going to utilize him that much. I didn't say it. Your coach said it. Did he not say that, Jay Issue?
Um, yeah, he says, hey, he's not giving him the full go. You got to ease him in. Maybe it's
That's
something
what he
I'm
said.
missing.
That's what he said. So if we go by, well, when Wiley wake his ass up in the morning and listen to the show, when he wake up in the hills of Germany, you can hear this. He hear this clearly, Wiley. You gonna owe me money. Shout out to Panthers Germany. My man DT will say Terence Marshall Jr. is up next. Okay, I get it. He is up next in our eyes because he's been here the longest, and we're waiting for him to really burst out. This camp now more than ever is more vital for him to showcase what he can do healthy, without uninterrupted, without a coach getting rid of him or sidelining him for some little petty
Baby in him.
bullshit. Yeah, it's his time now. It's really his time, man. And what I love about Terrence Marshall Jr., you don't hear much from him. I don't care for him, but you don't hear much from him. I'm not a Terrence Marshall fan. He has to show me. This boy has supreme talent and has yet to got to the pinnacle of what we need him to be. I'm not letting it go. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson was behind this boy. Those boys are bona fide superstars.
Hey, I was just finna say that. Please don't mention that college shit. We understand I was college, but this is the NFL. And them boys, they been showing out while he on the sideline being baby. So good luck. Keep bringing up they college stats.
He said, who drafted Terrence Marshall Jr.? That would be Matt Fool, Joe Brady, and the crew. They had Teddy Bridgewater that year, and like I said, Mr. Plastic has been hurt every year since he's been in the league. And last year, when he finally got healthy, I guess he fell out of good graces with the coaching staff. So I believe they benched him the first couple of games. I don't know. No one seems to know why he was not playing. But once Matt Fool got out the door and entered Steve Wilkes, he got PT. So all I'm saying is I need to see more of him to see so he can show me what he can be because the talent is there. It's there. Are y'all excited to see Matt Corral get majority of the reps in the oncoming preseason? And if so, how would y'all feel with him being our number two over Andy? Jackson, I'm gonna be real with you, man. The stronger Matt Corral gets, the stronger this team gets. That's the logic that I'm gonna go with. I never been a Matt Corral fan, especially with the whole situation that happened with him last year, him going and hurt. Right now, this team is Bryce Young. The direction is Bryce Young. Um, I hope that he can come out and showcase, and make the most of these reps because if he do showcase a strong showing, he will have the ability to come out here and ascend over Andy Dalton. Because I would go with the young guy that's showing me more promise. I really would.
My take on
I
Matt Corral. I'm
mm-hmm.
okay with him if he bring competition to the quarterback position. I don't necessarily hate him. There's a lot of fans that if he pushes Bryce, then what's the whole point of jumping up to draft Bryce? I don't see it that way. We always needed a backup. Um, we all know how that quarterback room look. We all know how the backup look. So if he bring great competition, then I'm all for it, and I will keep him on the roster, regardless how other fans feel about it.
Mm-hmm. My man said DT will say that's your answer. Um, Riz B, shout out to Riz B. He said Q is because Matt Rule didn't like ex players coming around, so it was hard for Smitty to be hands on with DJ like he is with Mingo. Okay, I get that. I get that, man. Matt Fool didn't want a lot of them strong personalities in the building, man, because he was just that weak. And I hate to say that, but it really shows. Like when he came into Matt Rule, You see Greg Olson say, "Let me get the hell up out of here." You see Thomas Davis say, "I got to go too. Fuck this nigga." Hey, Luke Kuechly said, "Man, fuck it. I choose my health over this cat." I mean, I'm just being serious. I mean,
It's
man,
sad, but it's
Luke
funny.
Kuechly, Luke Kuechly didn't try to battle a damn thing. He said, "You know what? It's the Lord's will. It's time for me to call it quits at 28." At 28.
Yes,
So I can't be mad at Luke. I would not catch another headache for this dumbass coach that we had out here that didn't run any plays at practice. Oh my God! Don't even get me started tonight. G issue.
please.
I'm on my way to training camp.
You say you got to see it for yourself, huh?
I got to see it up close and personal. I need to know. I need to know, is Frank gonna look me in the eye and lie to me again? Cause I done had a coach in here last year that looked me in my eye, spit in my damn face, and tell me I wasn't shit.
Treated you like a. I ain't even
I'm
gonna say it, man.
my
That's just wrong. He did you like that, man.
what I told you yesterday. What I told you yesterday, Jay. What I tell you yesterday. You can't
Which?
fuck me again after you fucked me last year.
Oh yeah, you know you've been
Not
tampered
happening.
with.
I
Oh
am
man.
tired of being played with.
What up with
This is
everybody
too
in the
much.
chat?
Yes, sir, man. If y'all just coming into the chat, man, please like the video on your way in. Wipe your feet off on the mat. Show that love. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's training camp. The takeaways from the day, like I stated in the beginning, Bryce Young came out through a pick. Camus grew a hill. Shout out to him, man. He was showcasing some of his talents today. Brian Burns looked very good today. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Poppy, what's happening?
What happened?
Pop already in the bird.
Card. The strippers on it bad.
He will
Hmm?
unmute once he ready to respond to us. I don't know if he can hear us or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he can hear us either. Look, Pop already in the bird. He already got it going on. I'll be damn. So shout out to Poppin', man. Look, I'm telling y'all right now. Hold on. Let me see what they're saying in the chat. I heard LaVisca all in the day. Yeah, like I said, B. Amos, they say LaVisca. They said LaVisca was showing off, but Frank said it himself. LaVisca is going to be eased into this offense, man. I don't expect much from LaVisca that we haven't already seen from him already. Get a gadget guy. All he's going to be doing is a lot of shifts, a lot of reverses. Don't sound like they're going to use him differently at all. What you think, J Issue?
uh, I wouldn't mind to use him as a gadget. I mean he is what he is, but we just gotta hope that he understand that playbook instead of just using them on screens all the time, smoke screens. Um, his bag, he won't be asking for a big bag. I mean, ain't he on the contract season this year anyways?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, well, he won't be asking for a big bag, but if he understand that playbook and he's on that field and the ball don't go to him, but he's more like a smoke screen and get players open, then that's a plus.
Look at here. I'm telling you right now. Hey, Pop, what's happening?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What
What
up,
up,
Jay?
Pop?
What up, Q?
What's
I'm just
happening?
out here seeing what's up with these Spartanburg streets. You know how I do. I pop up anywhere. I'm already outside. You know what I'm saying? You see what's going on? You see it? You see what's
Okay,
going on? I'm
okay.
Sir,
outside. I'm outside. I don't play.
I hear you drive up. Yes, sir. Hey, the crew getting together, man. Y'all already know tomorrow we'll be, well, we're going to be in the bird tonight, but tomorrow is when we touch down.
Yeah.
Saturday we got the PNP meet and greet. We'll be in the building for that. We're going out there Saturday morning. Let's get into it, Pop, man. How you feeling about everything?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Everybody should be excited. Everybody should, you know what I'm saying, should really, you know what I'm saying, get behind this team. They actually look like a fucking team. You know what I mean? These guys are walking together, talking together, just correlating together, like doing everything together. And it wasn't like that before. Like, people just going out doing their own thing. But, like, this not how they doing. That's not how they doing now. They're actually, like, teaching each other on the sideline when they got little with each other. You know what I'm saying? There's no selfishness. I like that, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. How do I sound? Do I sound a little?
No,
Is a
no,
little?
you good now. You good now.
Okay, 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 okay. Man, what's up, Anthony Brown? Man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Man, I'm telling you right now. He said, "What would be our weakest link this year? Offense, defense, special teams, or coaching?" I think right now, I still think this offense leaves us with a lot to feel required. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like we need. Uh, okay, let me break it down for you. At running back, other than Miles Sanders, we don't have another guy that can really come out here and beat you in a foot race. Uh, at receiver, we have a lot of different guys that do different things. Adam Thielen, is our best receiver, but he's more or less a slot guy. Uh, the guy that they've deemed the king, I'm waiting to see what he can do because he, look, he wasn't a route technician. They look, they like this guy because he reminds you so much of Brown up there in Philly, but he still has to develop and get some more route running abilities down, man. His route running still needs to be a little bit more for me. He don't got the PhD in the route running yet, but I still think that offensively we are an average team. I think we could do a little bit better because Hayden Hurst is just one lonely tight end. We need more. I need more from Tommy Tremble. I need more from Ian Thomas. I need a guy that can step up and be a solid number two. This offensive line is great. I love this offensive line, but I need more skill set weapons to be out in that open field to make people miss. Man, how y'all feel?
I'm about to step outside. They playing music. Give me a second.
All
All
right,
right.
so for me, the weakness would still be cornerback, all because our starters has been dealing with injuries, and we kind of like at a scare and hoping that they stay healthy. And then looking at our backups, um, CJ and Tyler, whatever his name is, I'm just not comfortable with them being the backup. We got younger guys that I'm hoping that they beat out that competition because they're not gonna be here any longer anyways. So if they can get some reps in this season and get their feet wet, they'll be ready for next year. But as of right now, cornerback is my weakness this season.
Okay. I mean that's respectable though. Pop, how you feeling?
My bad. All right. So, what was your question again? My fault. Cause the music came on. I had to move.
Okay, the question is,
What was our
what
weakest
my
point?
man? Yeah.
Uh, what will be the weakest link this year? Offense, defense, special teams, or uh, kind of hard to say. I definitely don't think it's special teams. Um, there is a technique that you have to have when you do special teams, but I don't think it's as hard as these other jobs. So I would say offense because you got a new captain back there that has to run the whole ship. So as he go, the team will go. Defense has been together for a while now. You know, they just been plugging in a couple new pieces, but the nucleus is still the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, I
Yes,
would I
sir.
would go offense.
Shout out to Pantherology, man. What's up with y'all, man? If y'all haven't already, go over to his channel and subscribe to the channel. Pantherology, real great content right there. Show him some love as well.
Where you
Hey
at,
man,
Q? Where I'm in this. Where you at?
I'm
Where you
traveling
at?
down. I'm traveling down 26 right now on my way to Spartanburg.
Pop to
Don't
the
let me take
stud.
over Spartanburg by myself, man.
Brother, I'm on my way. I'm cruising down the highway.
Hey, these people
I'm
about to turn
coming,
up in here,
Pop.
dog. They
Oh
about to
man,
turn
hopefully
up
they
in
still
here.
turning up by the
Woo.
time I get there.
They don't close at 2. Matter of fact, don't go to the hotel. Just come get me.
Meet me at the. Boy, I ain't following you up. I ain't following you up.
First round on me, why?
Oh, there he go. The goat is in the building.
There he go.
Look,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you right now, Pop. Did you hear what Steve Smith and Musa Muhammad did today with your boy Mingo?
John Domingo.
Hey, look. We could have been the first one to break it, but we ain't do it. We let y'all breathe a little bit. But yeah, I heard what they said, and my counter, my answer to that is, how you gonna pass the baton when you got to go get it from your boy in Chicago?
From
Then you give it to
DJ.
him.
Yeah.
Then you get a DJ. You got to go get it from DJ
So
first.
see, that's what I'm talking about right there. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. And I'm tired of being. I told you, I'm tired of being fucked. I look. Somebody lying. They done sat back. They done talking about DJ was gonna be the next one to take the breath out of everybody's body. Now he gone. Mingo the next one to take the breath out of everybody's body. I'm tired of being lied to, man.
I don't get it, but you know what? The funny thing about it, now you got 2 co-signers. 2 of them
but but
things.
but this is the thing, Pop. Like these boys co-signing the shit out of Mingo. They riding this boy meat, and they overlooking Terence Marshall Jr. What is that telling me about TMJ, man?
See, why you
That's
gotta pull him up? Why you gotta bring him
nah,
up?
bruh. Nah, I had to
You
do
ain't
that
hold
because
on. Nah,
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 because he's
nah.
supposed to be the chosen one by deemed by the Panther Nation. He's the chosen one to
Yeah, but
everybody.
not by you. Not by
I don't.
you.
I ain't never fuck with him. I've been told you that.
And
I
this
saw
another
his plastic
thing.
ass hopping around from the get go. I told you he wasn't
You
shit.
gonna listen? You gotta have the same energy you gotta have for Mingo. You told me
Huh?
verbatim. Why the hell they gonna hype up Mingo? He ain't did shit yet.
The boy
At
ain't
least
catch
TMJ has been on the.
a
Thank you. At
rabbit
least
ass
TMJ.
catch yet.
At least TMJ can catch the ball with his legs.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Prop trolling. Prop trolling. Clearly you
Damn.
trolling. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. The
So
boy ain't
let me
catch
get
a
this.
damn thing yet.
Hold. Let me get this right.
Oh yeah.
Now you're upset because Musa Muhammad and Steve Smith
Uh-huh.
dubbed
Uh-huh.
Jonathan
Mm-hmm.
Mingo the chosen one. Well,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm livid.
didn't all y'all motherfuckers dub Bryce Young the chosen one, and he ain't did shit neither. Ain't none of these
Talk your
motherfuckers
shit,
did
go.
shit.
Talk your shit, go.
He's your quarterback. I said
You going out, Q? You going out? Your connection.
None of them niggas ain't did shit yet, pop.
he
Ain't threw a ball, ain't caught a ball, nothing.
Not a, hey, like they say, not a nail.
Nothing.
you know what, go
Not a
So
nail. Not a
what did I say
nail.
about Bryce Young? What did I say about Bryce Young?
what
He
did
is
he
your
say? What did he say?
quarterback. You shall accept him because
Mingo is your ex receiver then. You
Uh-oh.
shall accept him. And the rest of the boys done accepted him and they done gave him hell. Put a C on all these niggas' chests. Put a C on all their chests. Captize their ass.
That's true.
You got Temple
Oh,
and his old lady hugging Bryce Young like they lost him at the damn mall or some shit and found him. You know, like they little baby boy that that that, that they was worried about.
he
You
is
know what I'm saying? Yeah.
that
So
he is their godchild. You
yeah,
hear me?
like
Say
they
again.
lost
He
him at
is their
like
godchild.
they lost
Say
him
that
at the
When
again.
that
damn mall,
head,
huh?
when that white man put that hand on your shoulder, you in the
Now,
family.
now say again. You
He's
Yeah,
your
again.
ex receiver, and you will like him.
yeah.
That boy ain't shit to me. I don't know what y'all talking about. He ain't shit to me.
So shit.
Your goats and your other goats has crowned that boy. They
Damn
have
I
right.
told
washed.
you. I told you. They too fast with the ass touching around here. They done come and put their hands on this boy ass and anoint him like he worth a damn already. He ain't catch shit.
Hold on, Q. When has Muhammad ever stuck his mess out for anybody?
And that's the point. Muhammad ass been in the fucking caves for the last 10 years, and he had his black
Yeah.
ass over there, and they came back out, and now all of a sudden, he putting his arm around Mingo like that's his son.
Well, hell, Temple did the same thing to Bryce. Like that's right, Captain Mo. That's right, Morgan Captain. You like that's his first little baby boy and shit. Like that's wrong. Like hey,
Oh shit, we
Your
got
your
all
connection.
them goat.
Yeah, your connection.
yeah.
All them goat.
Robotic goat. Robotic goat. Because your phone know you're talking bullshit right
Uh,
now. That's all.
Damn.
Talking that bullshit.
Nah, goat talking that real shit. You talking that real shit, goat.
Yeah, Q, you
Talking
got
that
your ass up out
Talking
of
that
bullshit.
here.
real shit.
What you say, Jay?
I said the connection. No, you was on your bullshit. They got you up out of here.
Don't worry. No. I'm not fucking with y'all tonight. I'm on my way to Spartanburg because I'm going to look at a team. And I want to see if Frank gonna curl his lip up and lie to me again. Frank, you done lied to me twice
Oh,
already.
you want to see him do it face to face, huh?
If
That's all
he
right. We'll
looked
be
me
out
in the
there.
eye and lied, I promise to God, Frank, I don't like being lied to.
I, I, Frank, you ain't got to worry. I got Q. I'm gonna pull him back. I ain't gonna let him put them paws on you. Don't worry, Frank. You good. You good. You gonna be the best coach ever in Panther history.
We got another question here. My man said, do you feel Jeremy Chinn, Frankie Luvu will have a bigger impact? People were saying that we're moving Chinn all over the field from safety to middle linebacker. Where do y'all feel he would best fit? Oh, all day, man. First of all, Jeremy Chinn is not going to have a bigger impact on this team than Frankie Luvu. Frankie Luvu is a superstar. And I said it. I mean it. You could document that and timestamp it. He is a superstar.
You already
So,
know I'm shaking my head.
So
what damn it, Dre? Go ahead.
I want to push back on that, sir.
Oh, go ahead. Push all
Uh,
the way.
this because one thing we know for sure that Jeremy Chin got to show out this year. They already gave him a nickname, superhero, One Punch Chin. I made that up, but that shit sound cool as fuck. Y'all can bite
Damn.
that.
Exactly. I never heard that before.
He
Hey,
said, "Dang."
yeah, well, you heard it now on Black Cat Panther podcast. This man is trying to get some money. So what they need to do is let him play that Joker role, let him play closer to the line, bring that boy Camus Kruger Greer. That we got to change his goddamn name, Freddy Krueger. That's what I'm gonna call him.
His name too damn long.
Freddy Krueger.
It's
Let him put him in there.
too hard to pronounce.
Let him come outside. Maybe play big nickel if there's a way to do that, and let them boys eat. They're not now. Luvu is not going. Luvu's gonna shine. Ken is not gonna overshine Luvu. They're gonna be cohesive. But those are two monsters, bro, that we're gonna have on this fucking. I'm just ready to let them loose. Ken said he was dealing with some mental things, man, like some family issues. His mental state wasn't right, and it was because that Bum ass coach from Nebraska had them all fucked up.
When he
Now
said
he
that,
said he got all that gone. He said it before the season started. I mean, for OTAs and one of an article when they interviewed him. He said he was going through a lot of mental things that were going on in his life. That he had to finally get squared away, and now he feel like he's better than ever. So you
Damn.
well,
know,
probably was some of them guys going through some shit like that, man. Like, you think about it.
right, right.
You've been on the team two years, whatever, this and that, and you even got some guys that was used to winning, right? Coming from college, coming from high school, and then for 3 years in a row or so, y'all losing, getting your ass kicked. Can't figure out why. Out here practicing, training, all kinds of shit. That's kind of hard, bruh.
Yeah.
It's hard to go through. I can
Chin,
understand it.
Chin sound like Chin boxer who had to take a break, and now that he done got his mental together, his focus back, he ready to get back in that ring and box again. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying?
let's see if
So
he that rookie
don't doubt
monster or
Chin.
something.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna put him against Luvu because they're on the same team. Just know you got Team Light Skin is gonna be on fire this on this team.
Team light skin.
Team Light Skin stand up,
See, the
stand
problem with
up.
them light skins is they too damn sensitive. Now, like I've been saying,
No, don't do that. Don't do that, Q.
Frankie
Don't do
Luvu
that.
is the heart and the soul of this
Oh, yeah.
defense, and I truly believe that.
Oh, y'all
Now,
upsetting
now
him now. Go ahead,
you,
Q. Go ahead.
Look, look, look at here,
what you want a
JSU.
cookie? You want a cookie, Jay?
No, no, go ahead, man. I need a smoothie, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, since you don't want to hear, since you don't want to hear,
Only
see, you
somebody
don't want to
light
hear
skin would
what's
say a
good for you.
smooth.
You don't want to hear what's good for you. You like to hear that bullshit. But I'm gonna tell you like it is. Frankie Luvu is the best player, the best linebacker on this defense. Bar none. This guy is a superstar. I didn't tell y'all this. Not many guys can come out and have 15 tackles, an interception, a defensive touchdown, a forced fumble. All on, bruh. Don't make me say it, man. Come on, man. This guy's a bona fide star. Bona fide.
Yo, J Ski. Hey, look, that's a great question. That's one of the questions that I wish I could answer, but I think in order for Dante to make it another year on this Trump game, or he will be cut. I just think so. He can't fall down and can't get back up this year. He can't have no more lean on me's. He's got to come through and play at least 15 games. At least 15 games. And whether that's take 2 games off in the middle of the season, but be ready to be, especially if we go to the playoffs, he has to be there. And just fingers crossed, knock on wood, like whatever you got to do, keep your lucky draws on for the rest of the NFL season, or socks, whatever you do, man. Let's just hope these two guys right here don't go down because the two backups, man, they not solid. They're not solid at all. Appreciate
They
that.
ain't ready.
Hey, I seen you over there listening to that bullshit.
Luvu is the heart and soul of this team, Pop. And it ain't no bullshit. You will cheer for him and you will like it. Now, damn it, I'm tired of telling you this shit. When he scored
No, I
defensive
love Luvu.
touchdown, oh, no, you
I love
don't. No,
Luvu.
you don't. Because
Yes, I
you act
do.
like you can't
That's that.
acknowledge
That's that.
skill when you see it.
That no. I never
I don't
said
think he the
nothing
heart and
bad
soul
about Luvu.
because
Exactly,
I don't think
Kendall.
he the heart and soul because huh?
No,
Here
I
we
agree
go.
with you.
Can you
Go
hear me?
ahead.
Jay,
Yeah, we
Jay,
got you.
Jay, you
Yeah.
should have.
Oh, yeah, we.
Well, what I'm saying is national level. They they said we only got one superstar,
Oh,
and that's Brian Burns on that defense. Now that's the word on the street.
Q want to be disrespectful and put Luvu over Burns. Is that's Q?
Louisville is
Q?
the they play two different positions, bruh. But I'm gonna tell you, Burns is a superstar because he's marketable. Spider Man. Everybody want to be Spider Man. That's the only reason why Burns. I love Burns to death, but he is highly more marketable than Frankie Luvu. But Frankie Louisville puts up
Yeah.
better
He
numbers.
only did that for 1 year though.
Oh my God, the boy just started for a year. He was in a rotational position.
He should have been that dude. Maybe he's not that dude.
Oh my God, stop it, Jay. See, when you don't look at this, is what you do.
Jay, he
You look
never
at
got the opportunity to do shit in the Jets.
exactly.
They cut his ass. They didn't know what they were dealing with. So when we got him, we was like, all right, we're gonna start you here at this role. He elevated from that and turned into a monster.
Well, we didn't have
Like
any
we can't.
linebackers, so I get what y'all saying, but we ain't have any linebackers, so he had to
Yeah,
start.
we didn't have one. Now we
Lord
got
have
one.
mercy.
We got
Well,
a
He had to
star.
sit behind Hassan Reddick because Hassan Reddick, you aren't gonna start Frankie Louisville over no damn Hassan Reddick. He had to wait his turn. See, some of these guys in the NFL has to wait their turn for them to come out here and put production up. You just can't jump in that bitch overnight and think you're gonna get your feet wet. Mingo, you're not gonna get your feet wet.
Issue. Who did Bryce Young have to sit behind?
Oh, here we go with this dumb shit.
No, think about it though. Bryce Young had to sit behind somebody, and when it was a turn, he stepped up and
so,
balled out. Right.
so you talking about at
This is
Alabama? He had to sit behind Mac Jones, right?
right. He had to sit behind Matt Jones when it was time to get his foot wet, his feet wet. He went out there and did his job. When we lost Hassan Reddick, Lou stepped up to the plate, got his foot wet and balled out. He just got to stay
Thank you,
completely
Jay
healthy.
Issue. Do you hear
That's all
that,
I'm
Jay
saying.
Issue? Do you hear that, Jay Issue?
Jay, you don't like Lubu, bro. It ain't me that
I can
don't like
tell.
Lubu. I love Lubu.
That's all I'm saying, man. This,
And I
this,
and,
this
and I think
guy.
y'all saying his name wrong. I think it's Love You.
That was pretty neat, man. The guy don't get no, and that's the thing. He don't get enough respect for his play on the field. And look, he missed a couple of games last year, but this guy, like I said, was a baller, and he was the single reason for some. Look, there was a bunch of motherfuckers that didn't show up last year on that field. Louisville wasn't one of them. He came week in and week out and did his job.
Well, that's the truth. Because, well, like you said, he did. I did please say he get his respect. I do say he gets his respect because
Not
he
amongst the
played his
fans, go.
well, not maybe not against the fans, but the coach, even the last coaching staff seen it because they were the one that elevated him. So I do believe and say that he gets his respect or he earned it. I can't say that. He earned his place. He earned his spot because he came in, like you said, as a rotational linebacker from the Jets. And the Jets weren't starting. Now, you can put that on the Jets because the Jets were picking like number one overall, damn in the top five, top 10, all that shit. They had a bunch of talent coming in there year in and year out.
Hmm.
So after 3 years, they let him go. 3, 4 years, they let him go or whatever. They had him there. They didn't develop. He came in as a special teamer, a linebacker that plays special teams. Just like we were talking about yesterday, we got people that play special team. They're gonna make the cut because of their special team play. But
Hmm.
this guy was on special teams and was just around the ball all the time. And when he got his licks at it in the games, he made plays. And so
Hmm.
even like I said, even that other regime that was in here even said, "Well, damn, we got to sign this guy and give him some more reps." So even they seen that. So he earned his. So I ain't a damn thing I can say about Frankie Luvu. Nothing.
You
Yeah,
see,
see,
you
that's the
see in the
thing.
chat, they on my
Brian
ass already.
Burns, Brian Burns is the motor of this damn defense. Derrick Brown is the muscle, and Lou is the heart and soul of the defense, bro. That's
Well,
what it
I can
is.
go to that. I can go with that. I can go with that. I can dig that. I can go with that. Exactly what you just said, Pop. I'm with it.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm
You
gonna tell
said
you
not
anything.
no word wrong.
If there's ever one guy that's cut from that Thomas Davis Luke Kuechly Claw, it ain't Shaq, it's Luvu. If there's anybody that can get out here and be a playmaker, it's this guy.
That's
We
a
need
fact.
more playmakers
What
on the team to get out there and make stuff happen.
what a Felder. I see you, my boy.
Hey, what did I say yesterday, Pop? I said you can have guys that's not stars or generational talent or whatever, but those are the guys that just won't quit. That's the Frankie Luvu. We know he's a
It's
star.
Mm-hmm.
We right here in Panther world, he's a star. But on the national level, he's not this mega star commercial in your face every day. He ain't gonna get the State Farm Jake and ADT commercial and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be right there. But to us,
and it's crazy. My bad. Go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I'm just saying to us, he need to get them all. He need all of them. But if you get those type of players, if you only supposed to get those star, that mega star. You only supposed to have two of them, maybe four of them on the defensive side. I mean, two on the defensive side, two on the offensive side. And if you got those other players in key positions, Frankie Luvu style, you gonna win a chip. But we ain't got enough Frankie Louisville style motherfuckers.
It's so crazy, though. Like I don't know for certain, but I swear they watch this fucking show, bro. I swear they watch Black Cat Panther podcast. Cause the same thing you've been saying. Von Bell went on and had an interview with WNCB on live news, and he was getting an interview, and he said the same thing. We may not necessarily have a superstar, but collectively, all us together, and we all do our job, we
Mm-hmm.
incredible. We incredible. Like, look, we were just sitting here looking at the 53 roster who was gonna cut. We was looking at Camu Gruger Hill, which I'm gonna call him Freddy Krueger, and then he come out to practice and he's showing out, and then
Yeah,
Q go look at his stats. Man, he like slipped underneath the radar. Dude's a
Yeah,
baller.
I
yeah.
say, like I said,
He's a
like I said,
baller.
if we can find us about 3 to 4 diamonds in a rough that's gonna stick their nose in every damn thing they do, we can get it.
Yeah, but go. You said we needed that middle linebacker. And imagine if we found a diamond in the rough with Gruger Hill and you pin him with Jeremy Chinn and Frankie Luvu and
Yeah,
Brian Burns. You go from probably one of the most underrated to
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
probably one of the most slept on linebacker cores in all of the league now
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
because
would
they're
say that, but
scary good.
yeah, it's scary good. It's scary good. You're exactly right.
We thought it
We,
was
but
a position of weakness because we couldn't see where that other guy was. You know what I'm saying? We looking for that other
yeah,
pass rush, but what if they say, okay, we got other guys that can come in and be versatile enough to do whatever it is we need them to do? What if they don't need this guy to come
but
out opposite of Brian Burns and come after the quarterback? What if he doing other
but
stuff?
see, this is the thing. This is the thing though. Without having that other guy opposite side of him. Now, if we get a damn interior push, we're fine. We're fine. If we're getting an interior push. But if we're not, if we're getting a sometime interior push and we have to rely on scheming and stunting and stuff like that, we become predictable later on in the year, in the season. And if that happens when you start to play those those good teams, those playoff caliber teams, you're gonna get exposed. So if you and you know this, if you can't
Yeah,
get pressure with that front, whatever, whether
front
if you're in
three,
a four
front
three
four.
three
Yeah,
four nickel, whatever package you in, and you got to start doing all that to get pressure. Come playoff time or crunch time or stuff games with playoff implications, you're gonna start running against these ascended defensive coordinators with these key players and stuff like that. that's getting ready to make you pay for
Well, and you got a hell of a point because you think about it, everybody in the playoffs got a top offensive line just about. So
it. That's what I'm
for
saying.
our defense to go against that top offensive line, you got to be able to create that push, bro.
Hmm.
And it all starts from looking at the talent that we got here on this line. You look at Derek Brown. You look at Chad Tuttle. We think that those two guys are identically the same player. We were able
Hmm.
to get Chad Tuttle at a cheaper rate. And I'm thankful to have him because he seems to be pushing Derek Brown to another level. Now let's hope that these guys can come out here and let iron sharpen iron, and they lead the way because that other DN position slash tackle position that we got, whether it's Williams, whether it's the other guy that's going to be there, we need to have somebody there that can make a difference. Gap control is going to be vital because we have to stop the run.
Hmm.
So I got a question
You're
for you,
gonna have
Q.
to.
What's up?
And I know they're gonna be near Diddy your heart. What position does DJ play?
I think DJ is going to be an outside
DJ
line.
Johnson.
DJ Johnson going to be an outside linebacker, man. He's going to be an outside
How
linebacker.
many years?
You say what?
How many years you gonna give?
I really, I really think now this is me, Pop. I really think DJ Johnson is going to come into his own after in the beginning of next year, because I think he might be a little more advanced than some of these guys think, and I think you're going to see flashes. You're going to see a lot of flashes this year, but next year is when you're going to see him start to really figure this out. You get what I'm saying? He's going
I
to have
got
a
you.
lot of athleticism this year. And off of his freakish athleticism, him being 6'5", 270 something pounds, you're going to see this guy come out and make some flashes.
All right, one more question. Is
Hmm.
he helping Ian Thomas become a better tight end? Just curious.
No, nobody can help Ian Thomas become a better tight end because that boy just a sack of bricks. That no matter, look, if Ian Thomas get in the weight room and get on that treadmill and shed a couple of pounds and get a little bit stronger, he could be a great blocking tight end and a good pass catching option. But he would not
Hey,
put in the
look,
work.
Ian looks smaller now. Ian looks smaller right now.
Okay,
I seen
well,
him on the video. He looks smaller. He
okay,
do.
well, hopefully that translates to the field. Yeah, hopefully that translates to the field, Bubba.
Hey, look. When I tell y'all, I don't know if y'all know what that means, but I'm giving
Uh,
you that look.
But stupid. Hey, Ian Thomas.
Oh shit!
Ian Thomas has been a project since we drafted him. And either you're gonna shit or get out the pot. That's all I got to say about it. You know what I'm saying?
well, if you're waiting for
And
this boy to manifest, bro,
yeah,
you be waiting.
either you're gonna shit or get out the pot, because I took what did I say the other day? We can get you got a lot of great, not good, but great tight ends that come about anywhere in the third or fourth round. You find these guys, the George Kittles, the Travis Kelce's. You can keep naming them up and down the league right now. Some of these guys was drafted late second, third, fourth round, and they're the stellar cream of the crop tight ends. We can go in the draft and find us one. People talking about Frank want to run a dual set and this and that. He does not have the proper tight end right now, other than Hayden Hurst, to do this. You gotta. It just comes a point where where you say your team is not talented or you don't have, the type of talent to do what you want to do. I think that playbook will be a little over vanilla for right now until they figure out and they get the proper talent or the proper pieces to come in here and run this thing the way they want to. It ain't like you get and say, "Oh man, Thomas Brown just come in here and brought Sean McVay this innovative spread offense, 11 man personnel, 12, 13 personnel, la 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 la. What we getting ready to do?" No, we we just don't have the people. This was not a over talented team because you see when Steve Wilkes came in and just implemented us to run where we had a C-Mac at the time and we had Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard and Blackshear and whatever, and we started running and the line was set up to run. Icky was a better run passer than run blocker than the pass guy. He had to work on that. Bradley Bozeman, we said the same thing about him. So the line was set up to block for the run. And then that's what we did, control the tempo of the games, things like that last year. And we started winning games because we got confidence. Once you start winning games and knocking pins down like you supposed to, things start to come easy. Then you start implementing this and that, and you start to control games. You start to do stuff. If it ain't working and doing this right here, go back to what you know, run the ball. That's how the tempo of a game goes. Now, this year we can somewhat do the same thing, but I believe they're gonna pass it a little bit more. That's why we got a lot of these wide receivers, and we're gonna keep a lot of wide receivers to go out there and run people to death. It's going to be more of an athletic team or whatever. Then Frank's going to start putting his DNA a stamp on this motherfucker. It's going to start looking like the Eagles. Going to look a little like the Rams. Thomas Brown started implementing some stuff. I don't know how much control. We done said that. Frank going to get Thomas Brown, but he going to have to get a reins over after a while. He gonna have to. So that's what I say, and something like you were saying about DJ, wait till about that second year. The light bulb gonna come on for a lot of these motherfuckers. And then you're gonna start to see the plan. But far as this year, don't look like we getting ready to light it up all over the place. I'm not. That ain't my expectation. I did that show talking about lower the expectations just a little bit now. You know? Hey. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's my spiel on it. Some people might be
Hey, highlight
heartbroken.
that comment.
Huh?
That Jonathan Felder comment. Yeah, he said Icky would be Trent Williams good. Hey, I believe so, bro.
Yeah.
Like I believe so, man.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that
what you want people to
Icky,
come in
bro.
there. You want people to come in there and really our number one draft pick, Bryce Young. If Bryce can show me this year, I can get on the Bryce train and start the ride. If Mingo can show me that this year, we can get on the Mingo train and start the ride. But if we're not seeing what we need to see mid-season or damn game 10 or whatever, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do then, Pop.
Man, I ain't even worried about it. Them boys gonna do it. They gonna do it, man. There's
Yeah. So what you
everybody
talking about?
like
You said the boys gonna
every
do it.
single
You talking about
yeah. Yeah, I'm
mother
gonna tell
gonna
you
come
why.
out the gate like that?
Nah, but I think we're gonna put some fear in some people's heart because I think like you are starting to see. You think about it. People disappeared when Matt Rule was here.
I know.
OGs,
Yeah.
legends, they disappeared. They ain't want to be around. Then all of a sudden, they're coming out of the woodworks. All of a sudden, you see Luke Kuechly helping the scout a little bit. Now you see Steve
Yeah.
Smith do a podcast and interviewing Panther players, helping out, picking who he think we should pick at the 39th pick. Now you seeing Musu Muhammad uh, with him. I mean, it's an evolution of now Panther family. The Panther family is finally coming together and like how we used to be, and bringing it back. You know, the den is coming back,
That's true.
and you can feel it, bro.
That's
It's in the air. You can just tell. You know what I'm saying? Dap Daddy coming in here. Nah. You ain't daddy. You ain't the
that's true.
one. And we and that, bruh, man, I can feel it, bruh. This shit is changing, bruh. The guys that were have put blood, sweat, and tears on the field are now wanting to come and help this young guys to elevate, annihilate, demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody has somebody they can go to, and no matter how you look, you have somebody you can call on. Even Frank, he got people he can lean on to if he has problems.
Hmm.
Not Josh Norman. Everybody has somebody they can lean on to if they need help in the organization. We didn't have that before. You got a question, somebody can lean on somebody to ask to. You got a support system, and that's the beauty
Like
of
you
this
said.
shit.
Well, and I think one thing about that too is you said organization. The organization is getting older. You got to factor that in too, Pop. The organization is getting older. The organization is around 30 years old, So you're
Absolutely.
starting to get lit. A lot of those other players that was here was not original draft picks and people that ended up staying in the city of Charlotte, living in North Carolina, retiring here, loving this team is embedded in them and seared in. Now you keep using the word seared, all in their DNA. So now you got a Steve who was a draft pick, oldest the first part of his career. Where he didn't play in Baltimore what like 2 years, something like that, whatever. But you know, pure Panther. Thomas Davis, pure Panther. You know what I'm saying? He should have never went to the Chargers for that year or two or whatever he did. These guys should have been here their whole
Mm-hmm.
career. Julius Pepper, guys that we just put in the ring of honor. Musa Muhammad. Everybody went somewhere for about 2 years, came back or whatever. These guys ended up buying homes and businesses and all that stuff in North Carolina and Charlotte. They just woven in the Carolina fabric. But as an expansion team, you see what I'm saying? You can't have legends and shit like that. We just started, so it took us a little time to get that because I watched Hard Knocks one time when the Raiders was there, and these guys is and the one the Falcons, not the Falcons, but the Ravens had, and they're having this family days and all these like the legends are coming back. Tony Saragusa and all them guys was going in the ring of honor and just all kind of stuff like that, man. We just getting to that point. You know what I mean? So you just getting guys to be at practices and training camps and just popping up and like I said on podcasts and calling games like Greg Olson. We're just getting that type of age on the organization, on the team, where we got the old heads coming back. We got old heads now. We never had no old heads. You know what I mean? No legends to come back
Yeah,
because we're so young.
yeah. We finally got some OGs. Yeah,
We
you're
got some
right.
OGs.
And
Yeah,
that's
we
what I'm
finally got
saying,
some
man.
OGs.
You can see this shit like you see it coming. Hey, I in the
Yeah.
chat, man. That's sitting here participating with us. Man, y'all making some great comments, yo. I mean, y'all really are like dialed in with us, man, because some of the things I'm reading, I mean, this is just amazing, yo. I really appreciate y'all, really, rocking with us tonight. You know what I'm saying? On the road, on the road to Spartanburg. You know what I'm saying? And you know
On
what
the
I'm
road
saying?
to
Like
Spartanburg.
y'all take y'all time out to come kick it with us. And I appreciate y'all, every last one of y'all, man, for real, for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I tell you, man, I think we got some of the best people around us, man. I love everybody that's tuning in, man, and that's from the heart.
Yeah.
Nigga, this a
I
family,
hold
bruh. This shit's a family. Black Cat Panther Podcast is a family.
I gotta
And
get
you know
out
what I'm
right
saying?
quick. Y'all hold it down right quick. I got to get off right quick. I'll be right back.
Got
Yes,
you.
sir.
One thing,
Yes, sir.
one thing about family, and this how I look at it. You gonna have some dysfunctional shit happen. So we sit here and do this, that, and other. But at the end of the day, we love each other. We love everybody coming to chat. We got some people, some redheaded stepchilds, we allow in. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, we still family. That's what I'm saying. Like, we appreciate every last one of y'all to come through and rock with us, y'all. Because, like, this is what we trying to build. A real place that you can come in here, you can talk to us, you can teach us something, just like we trying to tell y'all some things as well. I mean, this shit is coming full circle. I'm so excited, bruh. Man, this is just such a blessed moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, J issue, brother J, please. I got to know one thing though. One thing out of the whole thing. Cause I see everybody was talking about the JC and the Dante talk to D'Angelo Hall.
Hear
Oh
me?
man, what's up, Doc?
Yeah, I was still on the phone, but what was the question?
Oh, how you feeling about our cornerback room, brother?
Oh, I said it's still a question for me. I mean, we going in it with two injured cornerbacks as our starters. We gonna rely on Chinn heavily with people not mentioning. Our backups, I don't trust them. And then the younger ones, I feel like they need playing time, get their feet wet, so they can be ready for next year. Once we walk away from Taylor, Tyler, whatever his name is, and CJ.
Okay. After watching Gruger Hill, I'm trying to get his name right, but I always butcher it. But after watching him and realizing we had a diamond in the rough, can we say the same thing at cornerback? Is there a guy under the radar that we just not seeing?
It's practice right now. Wright got beat by Chark, but Chark is our speedster, so I can't look too much into that. But hopefully we see him in preseason to see how he turn out against them other receivers that's not on his team. But for
But
speedsters, yeah, I
mm,
don't I don't know if I could trust him because Chark went around him too easy and got away like two
well,
steps ahead of him.
hold on. Steve Smith used to beat Josh Norman up in practice every single day, and you see what that did to him.
But
Made him an
but
All Pro.
nah, but he won the speed. He won a speed cornerback. He relied on his skill more than his speed, and then he had to
Mm,
catch up to you if you was underthrown and bat that ball out your hand. So he didn't have to rely on his speed.
mhm, mhm, mhm. I got you. I just wanted to make sure because I like Ray John Wright, man, and I think DJ Chalk, which he's a speedy receiver, shifty guy, and sometimes all it takes is that one, and then to
Yeah,
catch you off
get you in
guard.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah, but I expect that from a young rookie, man. Ray John Wright is a young undrafted rookie. He should DJ Chark in his third, fourth year should be beating this boy. He should be. I expect nothing less. Now, what I expect is how Rajon Wright respond to it. Is he gonna take the challenge of coming back up here every day and wanting to get better? That's what I want to see.
No, I feel
I,
you.
I think more than anything, this team right here, we got to get back to being the cardiac cats. We got to get back to having heart. We got to get back to not allowing to get down on one play and just turn back around and give up. We can't give up anymore, man. We got to get back to getting heart and soul on these plays, man. I think we have a potential because this young team. I love this young team, man. And like you said earlier, Pop, I can feel it in the air with this team. I haven't had a good feeling in the last 3 years, but this team right here, I got butterflies, man. I feel good about it. I really do. I talk a lot of shit. I say a lot of left way shit, but I feel good about this team.
And it's understandable. I mean, look what we done came through. Everybody has, I know, has felt like that, has been feeling like that. But man, listen, I don't think it started with just Bryce Young all season, bro. I've heard dumb people. I'm not gonna call y'all dumb. Unknowledgeable people come up here and be like, "What y'all so excited for? Is just the all season? This was the most excited all season ever in Panther history." Yes, it may not have been top five tight end. Yes, it might not have been a top five wide receiver. Yes, it might top five 4.3 1,000 yard runner wide receiver. It was the how they moved. It was the fact that they was even actually putting their hands in the pot. They were actually cooking, and we like ooh, 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 and we still saying ooh, cause we like damn, who is Freddy Cougar? Who is he? Freak.
Yeah,
Thank you, Texans, Cincinnati.
yeah.
Uh, like we are now looking at like, bro, we are so slept on. Oh my god, bro, I'm trying not to overhype shit. I really am, but I'm getting there, bro. I can, man. Listen, we got how many more days? 42 more days. Man, listen, man. I just started buying Panther memorabilia. I stopped when they got that head coach, that asshole. I did not buy any Panther memorabilia, y'all. Y'all gotta understand that.
Shit.
I ain't buy
That bitch been
none.
half off, Pop. I went and got all of it.
You would
It
got
was
half
half off,
off, and
Pop.
his ass would have off the goddamn. What happened to them Sam Donald goddamn buyers? They went out there and bought that shit. He was half off and playing half off on the goddamn team. See, I want one of the
Oh,
ones. I hold the Panthers near dear to my heart. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I, I was like, oh man, we about to go through the dark ages, and that's what we did. That's exactly what we did, man. So the light is right down the tunnel, man. Let's just hope these boys stay healthy. Like I said, stay out them streets, Uber, whatever you gotta do, man. Do your job, man, and we're gonna be alright. We just need one guy. We just need one guy. Just one guy to be dominant on that D line, and it's over. Do you understand that? It's over. I'm talking about the opposite side of Brian Burns. Woo! I hope we got one. I don't know who he is. I hope he on the team. But if we got
but
one,
but Pop,
man, just
Pop, Pop. You believe in Marquise Haynes,
no,
YGM? No for
no,
YGM. Yes for YGM. No. Amari Bono.
no, sir.
Not even
I
Amari
do.
Bono.
I do. For Barno, I do.
Okay. Out of those three guys, and I didn't even bring. I didn't say DJ for a reason because he's the consensus pick from this year, and I know that he's already going to be put in the equation because he's their guy. But these other guys are not their
Right.
guy. So with Barno, with Marquise Haynes and YGM, you don't think you can get anything out of these guys other than because you said Barno you believe in.
So
So
if I had it
tell
my
me.
way, I would have
Mm-hmm.
Barno on the opposite side of Brian Burns. The problem is that he's so light, he can't necessarily set the edge. So I would want to have him in particular packages where we got to hurry up and get to the and I think he can do that.
If this regime is like how, and shout out to Mr. White, if this regime is like how Wally told me, and this Dom Capers defense that's supposedly so legendary, they should help highlight and showcase a lot of these boys' skill points, right? They should help them out, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how long. See, the thing is, we don't know. So when you become creature of habit, you tend to do the same thing over again. And when you've been in a system for so long, you're used to doing it that way. It's hard to break what you learn and say, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna forget everything I learned and then take what you and start off brand new. You know, it's like teaching your baby to write with his right arm and then break it and teaching him to write with his left. He's not used to it. So that's the same type of mentally things that these guys like a Barno is gonna have to learn. He's gonna have to learn how to set the edge. Because you can't be just a one-trick pony. I know Wally loves to be like, he goes back into his time machine and he tells you about who did this and who did that. Time has changed as far as when it comes to defense. Coaches too. These Barno has to get acclimated. When he played in Virginia Tech, he has to get all those things and come up to an NFL level. I wish
Hmm.
that Burns. I hope Burns is still taking the time out to really put him on his arm like he said he was going to and teach him. Barno looked a lot bigger than what he was. He looks very in shape, but he has to wait till he can. But I just think it would be so dynamic to have Spider-Man on one side and Venom on the other, coming
Now,
towards that
now he
quarterback.
Venom. He Venom now.
I do shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do shit like that. You know what I mean? You want Carnage? You
Lord,
want Carnage? We can do
give him
Carnage.
Carnage. I like
We can do
Carnage better.
Carnage. Carnage? All
Yeah,
right, bet. We can do.
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
imagine though? You got to hurry up and get to the quarterback. You got one dude that runs a 4.3 and 6'5", 260, and then you got Brian Burns coming on the side. What?
So
Man,
shout
you
out
can
to
you can make some exotic ass plays.
shout out to MDJ, man. He said having Matt Rule and a new young quarterback is why it feels so refreshing. See what I did there? Well, Bryce Young and Young, yeah, we got you. We got you. Look,
I see.
he
I
right
see you,
though.
MD.
Going in and getting a
MD
quarterback
been
out
on
the
fire lately.
draft. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Getting a quarterback out the draft was all we were asking for. And they tried that last year with Matt Corral, and it didn't work because Matt Corral just wasn't simply that guy. He's a great B option, but he was never going to be a option type of level guy. And so, as bad as it hurts us to say we gave up a third round pick for nothing, we traded up to get this guy. I hate to say it. He's going to be a proficient backup. And that's all he'll ever going to be here on the Carolina Panthers unless something happens to Bryce and you got RG3 and Kirk Cousins all over again. Cause those guys were in the same draft, or you could put it to those two guys being similar. Those guys, RG3, Kirk Cousins, same draft. RG3 goes down with a rookie injury. He never could get his job back because Kirk
Hmm.
Cousins was Mr. Captain Kirk. He kept fighting and fighting and fighting. RG3 never saw the field again. So unless that happens to
Hey, how?
Bryce, hmm
Mm, now I was
I
gonna tell
don't
you to
know.
highlight Pop's comment. He said, "I think he meant Barno. Is Barno looking that good? No, I'm not saying he's looking that good. He's raw. He's very fucking raw. But if he listen, that man got 2 sacks and played 10% of snaps last year. He did that in 1 year, the YGM in 4 years. Just saying, the man got potential, but he's very raw.
Yeah, he was
Very raw.
one trick pony,
He's
just
a
a
one trick
speed
pony.
rusher, speed rusher.
If you give, he's not going nowhere. But if they keep coaching him up, he could be a hell of a problem, bro. Hell of a problem.
A man say you tripping with Haynes. He said he has shown flashes every time he's gotten the opportunity. I think
And I
shout
get
out to
that.
bro. Mm-hmm.
I get that because I feel like that was towards me. And Marquis staff, you absolutely right. I cannot be mad at what you. Um, I they wild, y'all. They wild and they going in. They know Black Cat Panther podcast cover. They going crazy. Hey, look, you right. Marquise Haynes has taken advantage of every opportunity that he's gotten. My problem is why didn't they make him? You gotta ask yourself that.
Yeah, I just think he couldn't make the most. Well, he couldn't be consistent enough to make the most of his opportunities. I love Marquise Haynes. It just he's one of those guys. He'll get out there, he'll cause a fumble. Next thing you know, you don't see him for the next 3, 4 games, and I'm like, well, what the hell?
He's
Yeah,
a
Where
more
you at,
expensive
bro?
Barno. He's a more expensive Barno. You might want to put Barno in there.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. See, those are the type of guys that's set role players. They're not the Frankie Luvu type guy, you know, that is right there in your face the whole game, and then now becomes a projected starter. That's not that type of dude. That's that dude gonna give motherfuckers a blow and come in with that energy. Like you said, might get them 2 sacks, might get this and that, might do some things. We put a couple cents on you and you get a couple licks at it. Good backup. Like you said about the quarterback, about Matt Corral, a B guy. You just got to accept the fact that that's a B guy. We got to get some more A guys over here or B pluses on this team. Period. That's the facts.
That's what it's all about. A guy and the guy. Which one is it?
That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of. I don't know.
but you
I ain't even gonna
gotta
go
be
there and say
careful
we
how
got a
you
lot of.
say that,
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta be
yeah,
careful how
yeah,
you say that, cause if you say that at the wrong
yeah.
time, they're gonna take your fan card away, because you looking at this team and you being truthful in the images that you see. I'm not just going to get out here and hype the team up because this is my team and this is my squad. I love my team to death. Make no
Mhm.
mistake about it. When Sunday come and when we're going up against the Falcons, it's fuck everybody. I'm out
Yeah,
here to kick ass. But until then, I'm going to be observational and look at this team and tell it like it is.
yeah. Because I mean, that's for a whole nother show, a whole nother day to get hype and like you said, just tell it like it is. But if anybody want to hear it, because some people don't want to hear it. Period. You know what I'm saying? And then you come back to me and tell you, man, you said it. You said I don't want to hear it. Then I want to do something about it now. I want motherfuckers to hear me now, and let's do something about it. Because it's the same shit like this right here. How many pop did you say did we show them yesterday? Corners that they brought in and worked out, 6 or 7. Now, why are you working out corners or bringing in corners now? Y'all should have known what was going on in free agency when we had a chance to get a Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, he got hurt today, but I mean, damn, we'd have took a big stab, nice, good stab at it. Or, man, I just say, man, sometimes I just don't understand the method to the madness. And maybe what they're thinking will work out. Maybe it won't, and we'll be in the same damn predicament that we've been in.
Hey, yo, go. Hold on for 1 minute. Welcome to the show, everybody. One Carolina.
John.
What's going on, John?
Hey! Let go, let go, let go, let go.
Oh, well, never mind on One Carolina.
John did that. Oh man, John did a 52 fake out on me the other day.
Oh
Come on,
man,
John. Come on now, bro. That's my guy.
that's the
Yes,
Southern
sir.
Mafia that got Big John again. Southern
Yeah,
Mafia that got Big John again. Let him be free. Southern
let him be
Mafia,
free.
let him be great. Let
Oh,
him
Yes,
be
God.
sir.
free. He did that to nobody. Golly. Man,
It was
listen.
Yeah,
perfect
Southern
segue, too. I
Mafia,
mean, it was
you
perfect.
can't stop this Southern Mafia. You can't stop this greatness. You can't. You can't. Hey, real quick,
well,
I want y'all to highlight a comment for me. It was a great comment. Pops put up there. He said like, I'm ready for pass to be on. Man,
yeah. Everybody, I mean, but
We
listen.
see
what
that.
what 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 are you gonna see much of 7-on-7 man going against each other? I mean, Pops, wait until that joint practice against the Jets. That's gonna tell a lot there, brother. That's gonna tell a lot.
Now we've
Yeah,
been
but
very hard on Shaq. We've been very hard on Shaq, and we have
but
every right to because the forefathers that was in front of him were awesome. Okay, but let it be known that he's a very savvy vet. He's coaching and he's ready to put them pads on. Hey, Shaq like to hit. He he just don't wrap up all the time. That's it. That's the only issue I have with him. He don't wrap up all the time. But
But then
that boy like contact.
sometimes Pop, you he just disappeared too.
Right.
He got
yeah,
minutes
he
and he
damn sure do.
disappeared.
I think he's playing over his minutes. I'm be honest
Playing
with
over
you.
his what?
His minutes. Y'all gotta think
What he had?
we was on
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He a
Q,
Verizon
hold
phone
on,
call
Q.
now?
Hold on, Q.
What in the
Hold on.
hell?
We was on defense a lot last year. We played a lot of minutes on defense. That nigga was tired.
So now his physique is the reason
I
why
hear
he couldn't
people
get
say
out there
that
and be
Pop.
worth a damn.
I'm not saying he won't work it down, but I think that they should gave one of the young guys to come in for a couple to let that man catch his breath. Cause them boys were tired. Offense wasn't putting up no points. Remember,
Hey,
hell, we put up over
That,
15
that, that, that
points. We
that's
won
really
the
cute, Pop.
game, right?
That, that's really
It's the
cute, Pop.
hey,
truth.
and some people, but
You
no,
Hey,
just
no,
you
man,
just
no,
put
no.
out a good
Some
excuse
people
for him.
put a
sit there and
P,
say,
put a P in the
no,
chat if you agree.
that ain't,
Put a P in the chat if you
that ain't
agree.
no excuse. That ain't no excuse, Q. You got to play complimentary football, bro, in 3 phases.
Okay. So you remember under Cam
This
Newton
a three-phase
when?
game, man.
Okay, go. Okay, so you remember the first year when we had Luke Kuechly coming in the building, Thomas Davis was starting to get in his own. We could not. It was either or. We had a strong offense that year, or we didn't have a good defense. And the defense used to be gassed. I would look at Luke Kuechly in his rookie year; he was
Hmm.
gassed a lot because our offense wasn't worth a damn. Our offense wasn't worth a damn in his first year. Every now and
Now
then we look
then,
around. Mm-hmm.
then by accident, Calvin Benjamin gets hurt. We finally get some speedy receivers in there that could get separation. The guy that they said couldn't hit the broad side of a barn, Cam Newton, was throwing darts. And guess what
Mm-hmm.
happened? 15-1. You see what I'm saying? When we started playing complimentary ball.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
John.
What's going
Man,
on?
what's up?
What
I've
up,
been trying
John?
to get in y'all show for like
Welcome to the road to Spartanburg.
you and Pop, you in Spartanburg?
Yes, sir. I'm out here with the people. You know what I mean? I had to
That's
touch
what's up.
down. I had to shake hands.
Yeah, you in my hood, man. I ain't in Spartanburg. I'm in Taylor's, but I ain't too far away.
Okay, okay.
Pull up, John. Pull up. First round on me.
Not tonight, man. I'm an
Here
old
we
man. I
go.
can't do that no more, boy.
Yes, sir. Come on,
Man,
Pop. You know better.
I've been I've been enjoying this
I
conversation, and
gotta
I figure
try.
I
I
want to
gotta
tap in,
try.
man.
What's up, John? What part of the conversation you want to hit on?
I mean, really, just everything, man. Because like I like a lot of what you guys are talking about. Like I just had a really long conversation with Sakib, my homie. Y'all know Keeb,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was talking to him and just seeing all the different things. Like, but there was one thing I wanted to point out specifically because I tweeted this probably 2 hours ago. So I'm sure if y'all hadn't seen it already, Sean Payton went crazy, today talking about Nathaniel Hackett and the whole coaching staff, GM. I mean, he was throwing everybody darts
Under the bus.
today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But when he said all that, he said there was one thing he pointed out that I thought was very interesting. He said that the Broncos were 29th in the league in both offense and defense and pre-snap penalties. And I was like, that is nuts because the Broncos under Avero last year finished like number 5 in total defense. Like, despite the chaos. And I was like, yo, the translation, when I heard that, we got one, man. That's why, like, a lot of these conversations, I was going to tell y'all this one time before when I tapped in about that. It was a conversation surrounding YGM. I want to say this was in 2007. I think Nick Saban was coaching. It might have been a little bit early before that, but when Nick Saban was coaching Miami, he came in and Jason Taylor, who was kind of having an up and down, career, like he would have a really big year and then he would kind of fall off and then, he'd have another really big year and kind of, fall off again. But there was never any consistency. And I'm not saying that YGM is Jason Taylor, but they do have a similar build. And I had made a mistake because when we were talking one time before Kendall, I remember us talking about how YGM had spent some time at a 3 technique,
Uh-huh.
especially depending on what sets they would be in.
Yep.
But then when Augusta Stone's article came out and they talked about him actually being a 3-4 linebacker, you were right on that because you kept saying that. And I was like, man, I don't know about that. But you were right. So I want to give you your flowers on that. But,
Appreciate it.
Hey.
yeah, no doubt. But what I found interesting, man, was that when Nick Saban talked Jason Taylor into converting to that 3-4 outside linebacker, so he was standing up primarily as a pass rusher. I mean, you couldn't stop him. Like he was virtually unblockable. Like you could not stop him at all, and he ended up being a Hall of Famer as a result
Mm-hmm.
because of the consistency that came. Now, my question is like, what happens? And they have to be telling us this on some level because you, like me, like everybody else, and I keep seeing this on Twitter from even the guys who report on the team who are there every day, whether it's Dean Jones, John Klein, Mike Kay, Mike Rimmer, all these different guys like, man, go sign Clowney, go sign this guy, go sign that guy. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're telling us something by not doing it because I really believe they believe in what's in the room already. And I'm wondering, maybe it's not YGM, maybe it's DJ, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's Luvu, like sometimes on that, on the edge opposite Burns or whatever. But I honestly believe they feel like they have a viable option, and I am extremely intrigued to see what YGM looks like in that position.
John, I've only seen this out of the organization one time. You remember when Gettleman said that?
Yeah.
It's on the roster. It's on the roster. He
Mm-hmm.
said
Hmm.
that in a couple interviews.
That's right.
I didn't want to believe him, but hey, boom, then look what we had.
Mm-hmm.
Look what that ended up being.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, hey, I'll wait. I'll wait. But
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see. But it's kind of sketch to me that this guy brings in like 7 corners. That's what the show today was about, the cornerback. When I
Mm,
did the show earlier at 12:30, was
mm-hmm.
about cornerbacks and why ones we let go, ones we could have signed, and where would this team be at right now if we'd have done that?
Mm.
It
That's
looks
interesting.
better to me if we'd have took a stab at Ramsey, if we'd have kept Gilmore, and then you got what's that boy out there that who signed it? Where is
Oh,
he at
Marcus
now?
Peters the other day.
L.A. Yeah, Peters over there in L.A. Yeah, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Moves like that would have just made this team better in my eyes.
I don't disagree with you, Goat. I will say this though. I think that part of the whole idea behind signing multiple corners, one is for depth, because of injury. Because the truth is, man, you could have Dion now these days, Sauce, Jalen, even JC. If you're not getting a pass rush, it really doesn't matter because these
Don't
guys
matter.
can't hold, keep these
It's
guys from, running routes and options and things like that when, there's a rollout or whatever. But for so long, it don't matter who it is and whatever era
the
you don't want to
rules
look
have
at.
changed. The rule
Absolutely.
changed. Yeah.
And well, it's not even rule changes. Like I'll give you an example. Like I was watching an interview with Michael Strahan on the Pivot, and Michael Strahan was having a conversation with OCU Minora about the Super Bowl before they played in it that year in '07. And he was saying, like, man, we got to get to Brady. We got to get to Brady because if we get to him, our corners can hold up. They knew they didn't have they didn't have an all-world corner room, but they knew if we put pressure on him and make him make decisions, these guys will show up and they'll do stuff. And they did. They very much did. They held Randy Moss in check. They held, what's my man's name? I always forget his name. The dark skinned brother with the dreads that played for them. Deion Branch. They held Deion Branch in check. They held, they were able to contain the running game. And I mean, it was a low scoring game when, I mean, that year New England had been hanging, 50 on people, and
Uh-huh.
stuff.
That
And so,
defense was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
just
man.
keeping people down.
Yeah. And so they were able to contain that. And it all started with a pass rush. So I think one of the unsung heroes, I'm going to tell you the name that if I'm y'all, I would keep my eye on really throughout this whole process going into the season as a potential starter. Marquand McCall at
Okay.
nose.
That,
Keep,
we've been saying that.
yeah.
And then John, what's that? Panini, whatever his name is.
Panensi.
Panet, he didn't pass physical. I know now he passed physical, but he's got something wrong with. It's still wrong with him.
Hmm.
So McCall, yeah. He might be our starter, or really
Well,
get some real good licks.
yeah, because I mean, to me, I would think that he's the most. And Deshaun, don't get me wrong, Deshaun Williams is solid, but
Hmm.
at the nose in a 3-4, where because Avero runs, this is why I think Brian Burns. I think Brian Burns and Derek Brown are gonna have a humongous year because he runs what they call like a one gap technique in the 3-4, where two gap would be like, okay, hey Derek, we want you to take on a guard and center. So you're basically going to play decoy. You're going to just be a space eater, and we let Burns kind of rush off the edge. We saw that a lot. I mean, we saw it firsthand in the Super Bowl. Ask us how we know. With Von Miller.
Yeah.
But the difference with Avero's system of that is that he's like, no, Derek, I'm moving you to end because I want you to get off. Like I want you in the
Hmm.
backfield. And it's like, okay, if it's one gap and we're going to let Marquand McCall, who's a space eater, take on the
Uh-huh.
center and the potential guard as well, then it leaves a one-on-one opportunity for Derek almost every time. And it's like, how do you game plan for that? Because
Yeah.
Derek Brown cannot be stopped one-on-one consistently. Like he's going to get in the
Now,
backfield multiple times.
and McCall gonna get that double team.
Absolutely.
I like it. I like it. Gave me butterflies just now. I like it. God doggone it.
Now you getting that push what I was talking about, Q, from the interior.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have that other guy on the other side, or you can bring the Luvus and the Bonos with the speed rush and Burns get home.
Hmm. But see,
Well,
and so with a team like this, I'm curious to see how many sacks we can get to because we're going from being a team that was predominantly low on sacks to potentially look. The Eagles set the standard. 70 sacks is what everybody is looking to get close to.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to get close to. Now, I think, and this is just me throwing a number out there. If Brian Burns can at least get close to 12 to 15 by himself, and then the three-headed sword between Haynes, between YGM, between Bono, if they can at least give me 5 sacks out of the three of them, that's 20 sacks already. Close
Mm-hmm.
close to 20 already. If I can get at least 5 off of that front line out of two of those guys between Tuttle and Brown, if I can get 5, we're
Mm-hmm.
already at 25.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers can get somewhere north of close to 40 sacks potentially. Potentially. Now that's not counting Luvu. That's not counting any of the linebackers. That's just counting those guys right there. I
Mm-hmm.
think we can get north of 40 sacks this year and get behind that quarterback.
Man,
I
that'll
do
be a
too.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, I do
That'll
too.
be a beautiful thing. Real quick, Curtis Lynch, he said Antonio Brown to a very restricted contract. No, 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 sir. I appreciate
no.
the comment, but
I
we're
see
gonna
that.
let that we're gonna
Yeah.
let Antonio Brown be great. Exactly where he
Yeah.
at out the
You don't want that, Kurt.
NFL.
You don't want it. You don't want that, Kurt. You
Yeah,
don't want that
locker
over here,
room
man. You
cancer.
know, that's yeah. You don't want that, man. That's some kind of Madden team type shit there. You don't want that, man, over here. You got to
No.
deal
Look,
with this kid. No, we
for
don't want
Bryce
that.
Young in his first year, giving him Antonio Brown is going to cripple him as a quarterback. I'm trying to tell you. That guy, if you don't get Antonio Brown the ball, you going on social media.
Yeah.
That's just how that going.
Oddly enough, I think if there was anybody equipped to be able to deal with that, it would be a guy like Bryce. I'm not saying that because there's more than just him that could do it, obviously, but I think he would be one of those mild mannered guys who could deal with that. I just don't think that's why I've not. I know I hadn't really done much content, and a lot of that is just centered around just some personal stuff. But if I was, one of the things that I would be talking about consistently is like the fear surrounding these weapons and how it's a fallacy. Like these guys, man, what you're seeing in camp is going to translate. Like, here's what's going to translate from camp to real time. There ain't going to be too many people in this division that can keep up with DJ Chark. If he stays healthy, we're going to see it's going to be air raid. Like they're going to be going down the field a lot. That's one. Two, I saw a breakdown from somebody on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about the percentage of routes that Adam Thielen was running where he would serve as a decoy to basically open up one-on-one coverage for Justin Jefferson. And yet and still would still be closing in on 700-800 yards a season. Now, does that mean that Adam Thielen is necessarily going to be a 1,000-yard receiver here? No, I wouldn't say that, but he didn't have to be. I think what he can serve as, though, is a guarantee because one place Bryce is really good is in the red zone. He was the best red zone quarterback in college last year. We've struggled historically in the red zone, and Adam Thielen is excellent in the red zone. So I think
Mm.
red zone offense is going to be high level for us. So there's going to be a mad push to keep us away from, anywhere between 30 yards and forward by many teams because of, Bryce's ability to read in the back of the field and, throw anticipation and kind of move around and, kind of move guys with him, which I think is going to be vital. One of the things I think is going to be vital is when you saw like what you saw this summer, hearing him and Mingo, working out, for a week in Cali or, when they were down at SMU, all those guys together. It's because when he rolls out and does stuff, they're going to understand his tendencies. He'll understand theirs to create more opportunities. So, man, I know I sound crazy, man. I'm gonna jump out the window. I ain't said this publicly,
Here we go.
but I'm gonna go ahead and do it, man, because it's such a multi-layered conversation, and I'm not gonna dominate the conversation with you guys I would do it on my own platform, my own time, where I could really flesh it out. But what I will say is I don't think people realize, and maybe they're starting to, what we really have in this guy. Like the stuff that he's doing at the pace that he's doing it at is really not common. Like he's so far ahead of where he should be at this point as a rookie.
Mm.
But he also is much farther ahead and more advanced than many veterans are because of what he
I
sees and
agree.
how fast he can pull the trigger
Process
once
it.
he sees it. Yeah, but see, and it's not just the processing, because it's like, okay, let me give you an example. So like LeBron is one of the reasons why people even consider him to be the greatest, which it just depends on how you feel.
Mm.
Some people, Jordan, LeBron, whatever. But it's because you have rare athleticism and the work ethic. Usually it's one or the other. Jordan, Phil Ford was drafted #1 overall in his draft. You know what I'm saying? When he came in, James Worthy was the #1 option at Carolina. Before he got Pippen, he never made it out of the first round of the playoffs. LeBron had them boys in the finals in '07. You know what I'm saying? Like in 3 years in. You know what I'm saying? So like, but it's rare that you get a guy that works as hard and is as talented. This kid has so many things. Like he's got the quick release, like Rodgers. He doesn't make many mistakes similar to Rodgers, but he also has the pre-snap recognition like Manning. He has the escapability like that of a Deshaun
The
Watson.
IQ.
I'm telling you, it's a combination of things that is very, very rare. And
So
the only thing, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so John,
Mm-hmm.
what you just put together to me is probably one of the greatest quarterback prospects we have ever heard
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out coming from your two lips just now.
Well,
That ever came to
Basically,
Carolina.
Q. No, so that's my bold take. My bold take is that I've already said one bold take. One bold take was that, hey, and I always leave the context of a caveat, if he holds up, because his 5'10" frame, 195 frame
Ah,
you can't just look over it, right? But if the kid holds up for even a 10-year career,
I
I
think
believe,
10 too much. I say 10 too much, John.
okay,
10 too
well,
much.
I'm just gonna say hypothetically
I
10.
I'm hoping
go. You
7.
don't got
I'm
you don't
hoping
got a
7.
crystal ball, go. God,
I'm
I done tell you that ten
John.
times now.
Let me ask you something, John. Let me ask you something now.
Sure, go ahead.
I play ball. You play ball. We
Hmm.
know this is a physical sport.
Of course.
I, I, it, I'm like I said today. It baffles me how anybody, just what Q trying to say, what Q is trying to say.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
This
whoa,
is
whoa! Don't put no words in
this
Q
is
mouth.
a physical sport, Q. He's gonna get those licks. I don't care how elusive he can
So
be. He's
so
still gonna
hold on,
get
go.
them.
Hold on, John. Have you seen Quarterback on Netflix yet?
I have, yeah. It's excellent.
The hits that Kirk Cousins take. Do you think Bryce Young can stomach some of that?
He already has.
Oh,
People
okay,
forget.
okay.
Let me give you an example of some guys that he played against. I don't know if you saw the write up about Nolan Smith today and how he's just ragdolling his offensive, line in Philly, or Jordan Davis when they showed him and how he came into camp this year, like with at least 20 more pounds of muscle. Like he don't even look real, bro. Like it's
But
Lord
insane.
have mercy.
that's not Jordan Davis is not the same Jordan Davis from Georgia right now.
Hey, but
John.
listen, let me tell you who is Trevon Walker. That guy was in the playoffs last year, right?
Lord have
And I'm gonna
mercy.
tell you, that little man from Alabama, the last time, like, remember I always tell your boy, what's your man name that come on here? That's the Atlanta fan, real cool dude, from the
Wolf,
north, Wolf.
Wolf.
What I always tell Wolf, that little man went into the Mercedes Dome and hung 461 on that team. But now that's a team that had 7 players go in the first round, and he put the most yards on them ever thrown in SEC championship
Sheesh.
history. History.
But how many of them got good clean ones on them? Good clean ones.
You can't get that's the thing. That's part of what makes him so different and unique, is his ability to see what's happening pre-snap and make a decision before you can. And then when the protection breaks down, his elusiveness and I mean that play, the one play that sticks out from that game that everybody always talks about is when he made some incredible throws in that game. But the one play everybody talks about is when he broke containment and was able to see Jahmyr Gibbs somehow out of the side of his helmet and lateral it to him. You remember that play?
Oh,
I remember that play.
Yeah. Like, how do you?
And,
I
and
mean,
John, I mean,
go ahead, bud.
because we don't get to get you. I know you be coming out the back cave. You know what I'm saying? I put the light up, and sometimes you show up, and I'm like, please let one Carolina come through. You know what I'm saying?
My
Messing with you.
man. I love y'all
I got
boys,
one.
man.
I got a question because we about to get real deep a little bit. Me and
Okay.
Goat, me and Goat had a breaking point today. It was special.
Okay.
I'm talking about it was special. So I'm gonna leave that where that's at, and I'm gonna transition to this. And, all right, I'm gonna set it up like this. When Temper came in the door, right? He
Mm-hmm.
said, "Me coming from the Steelers organization, we didn't hold on to the players like that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When we felt like it was ready for them to go, we let them go. And
Mm-hmm.
then coming down here to Southern hospitality has changed since he's been here now,
Mm-hmm.
especially after Matt Rule has been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or while Matt Rule has been here. Have you seen
Mm-hmm.
him change that? Because, like, you know how in the South we like to hold on to our legends. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with their you better not say that about no Steve Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what have you seen? Seen some growth in Temper? Has the South changed Temper a little bit? Talk to me.
Okay, so I want to ask one more question to that, so I make sure I can answer you correctly, or at least in my opinion, anyway. Shown a propensity to hang on to people now, as opposed to letting them go early. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because, like, I think what I took from what Temper was saying is that it was easy for them to let go of players.
Right.
Like that, it wasn't like a sit down and eat with me and mama and grandma type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, bro, you gone. You know, what I'm saying, all right, see you later. You know, let it. It seems like he has transitioned a little bit more as trying to mend those OGs that we've had and bring them back in the building to try to keep them around because the South, this small market team, we keep those guys close to our heart.
Right.
so
So it's like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Now I'm
hey,
tracking.
Pop, I give him a example. Like when Tepper first came, Greg Olson, all those boys was out the door. Thomas
Mm-hmm.
Davis, all those guys are out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems to be he's a little reluctant on, one pushing people out of the door now, and he seems to be uh savoring what we have here in Carolina a little bit more nowadays. Being that one, he's opening up the door to the Hall of Honor to a lot of these guys. He's seeing that now we have some legends. It
Mm-hmm.
seems to be he's growing a soft spot for the Carolinas. I think that's what Pop trying to say, right?
yeah. He's having a welcome to the South moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning that such a bigger city than North Carolina. You know what I mean? And what
Sure.
we hold near dear to us, he didn't see it at first. Now he's like, okay, I see what you're talking about. Like, you can't just walk in here and just say whatever you want and do whatever you want. Because these people love these people,
Yeah.
love these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see a big difference in how, through the organization. I really am. And I just wanted to see
Mm-hmm.
if John is seeing that too.
Yes. And I'll kind of go from a different angle to start. I think he could have probably, because they say smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. I think in this case, he's learned from his own mistakes in a lot of ways, because I feel like the biggest issue that they had when he was coming in was when they hired Matt. All could have looked well for him if he would have let Cam Newton proverbially die on the shield. And what I mean by that is, let the man finish his career here, because every option that we had outside of that didn't work. So what would it have hurt for them to sign Cam, to a 2-year deal, or a 3-year deal, something, just not even, I wouldn't say league minimum, but something that's respectable to who he is. But, just let him, if he wants to figure it out. Now, one thing I can say is this, like, we don't know what kind of conversations were going on behind the scenes when it came to what they were asking Cam, what kind of responses he may have given or whatever like that led to, them letting him go. But it doesn't matter to us because we didn't get to hear behind the scenes. What we saw was, them kind of play Cam's face, and it blew up in their face with what we've had over the last few years. In terms of the whole not being afraid to let people go, the one parallel I would say that exists with, can y'all still hear me, by the way?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
sir. We
perfect.
got
Yes,
it.
sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Yeah.
We're just listening, brother. We're just listening.
Cool.
I got another
I think,
question.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Uh, I'm telling Terry, but when I get John on here, man, y'all gotta watch out.
You gotta let y'all finish answer the first question.
No, that's what I'm saying. No. Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
still
Finish
waiting
it.
on his response.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
Go ahead, John. Go.
Okay. So I'll say the parallel, in my opinion, that exists in terms of like his, not being afraid to let players go early compared to what you may be seeing now on the roster is, I mean, when you look at the pantheon of, players, like, for example, James Harrison coming off of a pretty solid year, they not only were they playing with his, playing time, when he got injured, but then they let him walk. And he came back and had a solid year, and then he went to New England and went to the Super Bowl, and everybody thought it was kind of traitorish. But like, we don't have a collective amount of guys like that, that we've had since he's been here. I mean, the only, all the legends, Luke left, Greg Olsen was let go, Cam was let go, TD,
Davis.
yeah, so those were really the only ones. And since he's been here, the only one that's really been a staple other than the one that they drafted, which you could, if you want to say Jeremy Chinn, has been Burns. So, and maybe Shaq, but I wouldn't consider Dante that just because of, availability. And so he really hadn't had that opportunity. And then that brings me to a deeper point, because I was talking about this with Keeb earlier. The reason why I'm not mad at them allowing guys to get ran out so quickly is because I think we need to really assess what bad teams look like and what unprepared teams look like in this league. Like, let me tell you what bad teams look like. Bad teams, the team that Joe Burrow took to the Super Bowl was a bad team because 2 years prior, they won 2 games, right? And not for nothing, the only team that was really lit that year, if we remember, because that's the year Cam's shoulder got blown up, was when Pittsburgh went 11-1 or something crazy, and people were calling them fraudulent, all the way up into that point. That was a bad team. You know what I'm saying? That Cincinnati year. So they weren't even really in a strong division. A bad team was the year before Andrew Luck got drafted, and the Colts were 2-14. Now, granted, they had won 10 plus games every year before that, but they spent so much time building around Peyton that when he was gone, they didn't know how to recover. And so, once they got Peyton 2.0, then they went right back to their winning ways. But that was a bad team. Bad teams don't win 5 games, 7 games. The NFL, it's hard to win in this league, man. And when you just go back and look at and assess last year alone, if Eddie Pinheiro, makes the kick in Atlanta, that's 8-9, right? If they let PJ Walker throw more than 10 passes and more than a bubble screen in the LA Rams game, maybe that's a win. That's 9-8. I don't know, if JC Horn doesn't get hurt and Mike Evans doesn't torch us for, almost 200
That bad
yards.
call with the Browns game. The bad call with the Browns game.
Be careful, John.
The bad call at the Browns game.
Be careful, John, because it sounds like to me, Steve Wilkes would have been your coach at that point.
Absolutely not. But what I'm saying,
hold on.
What I'm saying is,
hold
go
on.
ahead, Jay.
Until we go too far off the edge.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
or Papa, I'm sorry.
When Tepper was, he wasn't grabbing hands and hugging and introducing or meeting people at the house or having people come over and he wasn't pursuing anybody. He was only a percentage owner of the Steelers. When he finally became an owner,
Hmm.
and he had to pick up on the culture, the people, how they feel
Hmm.
about their players.
Hmm.
And then, so this is where I'm leading up to, right? If y'all agree, do you feel like when Tepper fired Matt Rule, he finally got his nuts back because he's
Good.
seen this is not how
Yes.
it's supposed to be. Now that I
Okay. So
learned the Southern culture and how the Carolina Panthers, how the fan base is, with because he went on the podium, he apologized. He said, "I hear y'all talking. I know I made a mistake. I shouldn't have hired a CEO of a coach. I'll never allow that to happen again." Right?
that's right.
He
But
was
Pop,
embarrassed.
So to answer that
Pop,
what he
you
question,
asked a
did,
you asked a 20
what
minute question just now, Pop.
yeah, and what
I
he
gotta hit Big
did.
John with rapid fire because when I put the light up, he may not always be able to come through. He might have to save another podcast.
all right.
Lord
So
have
this
mercy.
this is what I'll say to that. And hey man, let me just say this first. I see y'all boys working. I see the growth. I can't tell you how proud I am of y'all, man, for
Thank
putting
you.
in work.
Appreciate it.
And listen,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
at
Yes,
any
sir.
time beyond just me showing up to talk, if there's anything that I can do to help, if you guys ever need me for anything, never hesitate to reach out, man. Never.
I'm taking you up on that offer as soon as possible. Yes,
I got
sir.
you. I got you. But okay, so I'll say this. There was a misnomer that I believe that people bought into, and it was this idea because you can't have two things happening simultaneously. I heard a story that Tony told yesterday, which, by the way, I love what they're doing right now with going live while they're in the hotel rooms after the practices. Like, I think it's excellent. But
Hmm.
I'll tell that in a second. You can't have an owner who is too hands on, because I hear that a lot, and then have a coach doing things like a story that I heard from Tony yesterday. So Tony from C3 is extremely plugged, right? And what I mean by that is, like, he's very, very friendly with a lot of the media members for the Panthers. They've had just about everybody you can name on their show: David Newton, Joe Pearson, or Joe Person, um, John Klein, all these guys. And he didn't say which guy it was, but he mentioned that the media guys, one of the media guys was telling him a story. And he said, "Hey man, when we had the whole practice bubble thing, like when it might have been 2021, and the media have their time or whatever like that, and then you know the team has for them to be there to cover the team, and then they have to leave because obviously you don't want the practices taped or whatever like that." And people were gathering their equipment as normal and walking off the field or whatever like that. And he says Matt Rule came out of nowhere and was just absolutely tearing into these guys. Like, and then it started happening like more than once. And it was like, you kind of had to ask yourself a question like, yo, we know that you don't want, any teams to get intel or whatever like that, but man, you really got time to do that? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have a meddling owner and that not be dealt with when it was happening. Like, a meddling owner goes in and says, hey, these guys get paid to cover this team. You got to relax a little bit. No,
Yeah,
they literally let this man come in and be a CEO, and he was in over his head. He was over his skis. One thing I will say though, and this always blows up in the face of Matt Rule because of how much he runs his mouth. Like, he talks too much. Like,
Hmm.
I remember when we getting ready to hire, I was talking about this during Will Levis's pro day earlier this year. I'm sorry for that noise in the background, y'all. But
Are you all right?
somebody tearing a Mustang to pieces. But we were streaming the Will Levis pro day, and I was talking about how Matt Rule's kind of going on this press run, basically trying to throw smut on the Panthers name. You know what I'm saying? Just like any and everybody with a microphone that would put him on a platform, he was just going around, I didn't really have, control over the roster, and I didn't really have that, or maybe if I would have had control, we'd done this at quarterback or whatever. And it was like, yo, fam, shut up. Let me tell you why you should shut up. Because when you left, that ragtag band of guys you had almost made the playoffs. Let me tell you another thing. When you left, because I've said this, and y'all pushed back on this when I said it one time, but I'm going to say it again. Matt Rule is not a good NFL coach. But you do not do what he done in the places where he done it if you cannot evaluate talent. And I think this year will prove that Matt Rule has an eye for talent. Because there's going to be guys on this roster that are going to do well with this coaching staff. He just wasn't the guy for it. Similar to Mike Singletary with San Francisco when Jim Harbaugh took over. I think we are, in my opinion, that's what we are going to be this year, which will place us, as I said before, my expectations are 9-8, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're 14-3. Wouldn't be shocked.
But John, it's like this. It's like this though. Okay, Matt Rule dug his grave, and Tepper was through with him when he told him to go out there and get you a rock star OC, and he comes back with McAdoo. Okay, I think that was the end right there. I think Temple was like, okay, that's it.
Who else was gonna work for him, Goat?
Go ahead.
Remember, we had people quitting every week. Go,
well,
you forgot?
I understand. I understand this, but he gave you basically Temple gave you the rope to hang yourself. You come back with Ben McAdoo, and what you just said right there at the end. Now, we're not saying. They had some good drafts because, okay, you got J.C. Horn, you got this. But if it's still true, and some people don't want to believe what Tommy Tremble said, what Cam said, what Hakeem Reddick said, the buddy stuff and all this stuff that was going on behind the scenes. Okay, so if I draft the number one, and I hit on it, what's the percentage of me hitting on a one? Picking an 8 or 5 or something like that and picking a guy and he being good. They bust out there, but I feel as though I could do, that every year, pick a guy. If I'm picking in the top 10, I'm going to hit on somebody.
All right. I'll say this. I'm going to list off, I'm going to throw some names at you, and I want you to put them in one of 3 categories. And be honest, because if you feel busted, you can say bust. I'm going to give you hit, bust, or we don't know yet. You ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. So we know Derek Brown. We'll get that out of the way. YGM.
Bust.
Stanley Thomas Oliver.
Bust.
Keith Taylor.
We don't know yet.
See, I would flip that around. I would say Keith Taylor would be the one I would lean closer to bust, and Stanley Thomas Oliver has been an excellent special team player. That's still a position on the football.
Wiley said that.
But we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Wiley said that.
All right.
I agree.
Him and what college is the best 2 gunners in the league.
Sam Franklin. Sam Franklin are the best gunners in the league.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But opposite of special teams, he has no value on this team whatsoever.
Hey man, listen.
Well, they don't use him anywhere else.
Devin Hester and the special teams unit for the Chicago Bears were a big reason that they made it to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. Let's not forget that.
Wait a minute now. Musa was that guy too. Now, come on now. They have a squad.
I'm not taking away from that, but who has and special teams is not just Devin Hester running. It's also the people providing the running lanes. Who had the most rushing or most touchdowns as a returner in league history?
Look, I got you. Devin Hester's that guy, but you got to also understand, you give that guy the ball in the space. You give him the ball in the space, and he makes stuff happen. Devin Hester was electric. He was.
No doubt, Q. But you know what makes this show great? If you one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with is trying to run a show by myself. Because it's hard to find people that mesh well together. What I hear from y'all, what I've heard from some of and I ain't gonna say no names or drop no names, but I'll just say this. In some shows that I've watched in their heyday, I see the same chemistry with y'all that I saw with them. Could you do it by yourself?
No. That's why I went out. I don't want to. That's why I got Golden Pop.
Okay, so then that you're answering your own argument. Stanley Thomas Oliver, and look where he was drafted, man. He's not expected to be a guy. Sam Franklin, I don't even think he was drafted. I think he was he was undrafted out of Temple.
Mhm.
So these guys, man, like when you're filling out a roster, I would say, okay,
That's the
I
point.
don't disagree,
You got to have them.
but
You got to
Yeah,
have them.
let's
you
keep
gotta
going.
have him.
Let's keep
Everybody
going.
serves a purpose. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got
Let's
you.
go
I'm
to the
with
next
you.
draft. All right, the next draft. J.C. Horn,
Hit,
Oh, that's the hit.
Brady Christensen,
hit. He's a hit.
I said that's a hit. Yeah, he's a hit.
Deontay Brown,
Bus,
We don't know yet.
bus.
Unidentified.
I ain't gonna say
Unidentified.
we don't know,
Bus.
Chuba
don't
Hubbard,
know yet.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba. We done gave Chuba opportunity after opportunity. He has brick hands. He can't hit the holes. I think he's a bust.
But he's not a bust. He ain't a bust. He's average.
You can't say we don't know yet because we done had plenty of opportunity to watch this guy
Yeah,
get in there.
he
Well,
did get a
hold
lot of
on,
licks
hold on,
when
He just
when
don't
Christian
got
was
it.
down.
He
I mean,
had
you gotta
one
look
good
at that
game
Let's
with the
whoa,
Lions
whoa.
last year where he went
Pump
off,
your
and other
pump
than that,
your
he was
brakes,
non-existent.
driver. Pump your brakes,
Okay, all right,
driver.
okay, okay,
You
all right.
telling me when we let see Matt walk and Chuba and Foreman went out there and did their third fizzle and trampled all over Detroit? You was sitting here talking about bus?
You
Yeah, I mean
hear what I just said?
they
He
were
had
only
one
part of
good
the
game in
number one rushing
Detroit.
attack in the league at the
I
time.
heard
So
you. I heard you, Q. I'm listening to you, but I'm just saying. The
I'm not
last time we
buying what
seen,
you're selling. I'm
last
not.
time we seen something like that was D'Angelo and the other guy.
Stewart, I get it, but no. It's night and day
But
difference on that.
yeah,
Chuba
it's
Hubbard
some
is not
things he just will
consistent.
never be able to do. It's some
He's
things
not
he'll never be
consistent.
able to do, Q.
They
I
don't,
mean, Pop.
but he don't fumble. He just can't catch.
No, it's not that
He
he can't
run. He
catch.
runs
Look at him.
hard.
Look. Hold up, Pop. Have you seen him? His vision is not there as a back. When he
Yes, you're
got
right. I
plenty of
agree.
plays that get bust up in the backfield where they could have went a little bit further if he would have took a
I
different direction.
I just say he's average. I didn't, but he's not a bust.
would you
Okay,
say that he's better than Trent Richardson?
Trent Richardson is an all-time bust.
Well, then Chuba ain't a bust.
Yeah,
Trent Richardson is an
Chuba was
all-time
drafted in the
bust.
that's
fourth
right.
round. Chuba
Yeah,
not a bust.
he's better.
Yeah, I would say
He's
Chuba
way
is
better
better.
than
No,
Trent,
no. I do. John, watch this. Would you rather
but
have
that's not saying
Chuba
much.
or Cameron Artist Payne?
I
We
take
don't even
Cameron
know
Artis
what
Payne.
but you
Man, you
don't even know
crazy.
what his capabilities was. He sat on the bench so much, Q. He
I
never
take
played.
I take Cameron Artis Payne, man. I done seen enough of Chuba.
Nah,
Look, from my two
Chuba's
eyelids,
serviceable plus.
serviceable
He's
on what,
serviceable
Goat?
plus. He's serviceable plus. When C Mac went down,
Here we go.
he carried the load.
Here we, I scream BS, and I'm screaming it from the highest hills on whatever side of Spartanburg I'm getting close to. Cause you just don't understand. I watched Chuba. The boy has no vision. The boy can't catch. The guy is probably one of the worst backs I've seen for us in a while. And I'm not just being an ass. I'm telling you how it is.
Q, I have a question. Could it be
Hmm?
that maybe he wasn't necessarily put in a position that worked towards his strengths versus him trying to adapt to what he was being asked to do? Would you
Okay,
give?
I'm glad you said that. He's a scat back that can't catch. Ain't that some shit, John?
Well, that wasn't his forte in college. Go back and look at Chuba's college career, man. I mean, Chuba. I'll put it to you like this: if Chuba was in the era of the running back, he probably would have been a first round pick. In the
Lord have mercy.
coming out of college with those stats, in the era of the running back, he would have been a first round pick because they would have built a team to try to, like, one of the things that Chuba is really good at, and you'll see this from Frank Reich a lot, right? So, we have conversations about tight ends.
Mm.
Frank Reich will use at any given time in his offense, and we saw it with Indy a lot. Didn't really see it as much with Philly because the quarterback situation and their backs were a lot different. But in Indy, you can potentially see 3 to 4 tight ends on the field at one time. And what'll happen is that he'll max protect and give the running back the option to be able to find the lane where he wants it. So it won't necessarily be like a draw or it might be formed up as a, not necessarily a draw, but like a counter, or something like that. But then the back can kind of find the lane himself and break outside. And with 4 tight ends, especially when you think about the, potential passing option that exists there, but they're all lined up with their hand in the dirt, it creates kind of some chaos for, the defensive linemen. So they don't really quite understand what's happening, especially if there's no motion or anything like that to, to determine whether, it's, they're going to break off and, these guys are going to run routes or whatever. So like, a guy like Chuba, because we saw this, like one of Chuba's biggest plays, and we saw a couple of examples of this, but one of the biggest examples was his rookie season. Deontay, and it was in the Colts preseason game. Deontay and Brady Christensen lined up right guard, right tackle. And a similar situation. They had Trimble, they had those two guys working in tandem together, just a straight counter play. But he runs up to the line of scrimmage, similar to, because he, believe it or not, he's drawn, because I heard this last year, he's drawn comparison to Le'Veon Bell because of his patience with running. Now, sometimes that goes to his detriment because he gets stopped right in his tracks, and that's what you were talking about when you mentioned that a second ago. But once he finds that outside lane, good luck catching him, because he ran for 70 yards that time, and I seen him do it against Detroit a couple of times. So it's not
Are we not going to talk about you, but blocking?
John, you said they one time compared this boy to Le'Veon Bell.
No,
the dynamic
Le'Veon Bell, not because of productivity. I'm not talking about because of stats or anything like that. I'm talking about his style of play.
Style of play.
Yes, style of play. That's it.
John, Chuba Hubbard couldn't even eat the same type of cereal that Le'Veon Bell eat in breakfast.
Come on.
I hate to tell you that, style of play or not. I love that y'all got a little love affair for Chuba Hubbard. Y'all want to see him make sense of this pick that the wife of the owner made. But come on, man.
No, that's the wife of the coach.
The wife of Matt Rule. I'm sorry.
Well, Q, I don't think it's necessarily that I want to be made right in this situation. I think the main point that I'm trying to highlight is this. Jeff's comment here is excellent. He says, I think everybody is we don't know yet, for the exception of the guys that have been. But I could even throw this guy in there. I could throw Jeremy Chinn in there. I could say,
no, sir. Chinn is a hit.
Oh, of course. But we could also say we don't know yet. Why? Because
them last 2 years, years.
Because where was
he's dealt with
where
injury.
Was he lined up? Where was he lined up mostly when he had the most success?
Right there in that box.
In that box. He had over 100 tackles that year. I get it. But because of that, that's why I say he's a hit, because I know what the pinnacle of Jeremy Chinn can be. If I could get him to consistently do that every year, because they were playing him out of position.
I agree.
About Luvu.
Well, but wouldn't
say
that
what?
Q? Would
I
that
said you
not?
don't say that about Luvu.
Man, Luvu is the heart and soul of this team.
Hey,
I didn't tell you that 12 times.
Go ahead, John.
I didn't tell you that.
Would that not put Chinn in the we don't know? I mean,
Yes.
listen, the guy that y'all just called a legend. Did you not call Thomas Davis a legend?
I called him a legend. Q didn't want to call him a legend.
Thomas Davis.
I said he's a
legend.
Panther legend. He's not a Hall of Famer, is what I said.
I would agree with that.
Okay,
I think
I
it's
agree.
possible.
He is a Panther legend, but he is not a Hall of Famer.
I agree with that.
It's a true
I agree with that.
statement.
I would agree with that. I can tell you this, nobody's wearing that jersey. It won't be like Julius Peppers, because, obviously he left. Nobody's putting on 58. Nobody's putting on 59. Like, those are cemented. Just like nobody ever put on
Hey,
one.
Big John, somebody wearing 90.
Oh, yeah.
My wearing Pep.
But that's because Pep left. Pep
Yeah,
left.
That's some big shoes to be putting on.
And not inaugurated into the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put on 90, bro.
Not me. Yeah, that's what I
You can
I
think.
put
don't
on
I
90
don't
in the
dis
quarter, but you can't put 90 though. You can.
I don't
That's
disagree with
weird.
you. I don't disagree with you, but I will say that he did leave and have a pretty successful career outside of here too, in
Yeah, he
two
did.
positions, because remember, he also moved to a linebacker in a three
Outside
four.
linebacker.
Yeah, in Green Bay's 3-4. But what I was going to say is Chinn Thomas Davis came out and he said this out of his own mouth that if he could talk to Jeremy Chinn, he would advise him to move to linebacker.
Yeah,
He just felt.
it'll benefit him.
What was he saying? He's too slow to be a safety. It ain't gonna
Hmm.
be long before Avero starts side eyeing and looking at how dynamic Jamie Robinson is, who I think is gonna be a really really underdog player on this team this year, and start thinking like, man, Chinn, you sure? Like,
Well, I'll tell you like this. I think the play that we've been getting from him for safety has been breaking his body down. Because I think one, we overuse him so much these last couple of years. I think it's taking a strong physical toll on his body.
I would agree.
Now, if you put him back in there, now also we know when we last seen him in that box, he didn't get injured, but now that he's been through 2 years of physical injury, can he hold up now, John?
I think so. Even at the linebacker position, I think that he would have to. Obviously they would start. Jeremy Chinn, you can look at his neck and tell the kind of body type that he's going to become.
Yeah, he's 6'3". Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still
And
hasn't grown into that NFL body yet.
well, see, but that's not.
He
I don't
can't. He
think that's the.
can't because they're using him as a safety.
That's
You can't
right.
really like put on the weight. You can't really build the muscle, the
They're
resilience,
training
their
him.
endurance, the
Absolutely.
training. They can't do that when they still want him light in the ass. Like he can't do that. Just
That's
went in
right.
here and say, "Hey, look, we're gonna." That's what's gonna make his contract so like really conflux because he's got a ball out this year, and then he's gonna sit here and come to the table and say, "Hey, I did this year. I did this year. Where y'all want me? Okay, I had a slack on this year right here, but that's because of who I was running with, the coach I was, and and where I really should be. He was angry, bro. I'm telling you, when I read that article, that man said he was going through mental stuff, mental things at home, family issues, and he was unhappy with the coaching staff where they were playing him. He didn't want to play all around playing safety. He wanted to be closer up to the box. Like, why
But
not?
think about it, Pop. Think about it. You coming in every Sunday knowing you got a dumbass coach. Now, how you and he telling you to do this, and you don't see the results of what he telling you. How you think he feel? I would have
Who,
mental
the coach
problems
or
too.
Jeremy Chin?
I'm just
I
talking
mean,
about
I
Chin
Yeah,
in
get it.
general.
he did. Jim Chin.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, that's why I love the guy. I think they're gonna listen to him. Evero is head over heels over this guy. I told y'all they gave him the nickname superhero. Superhero.
Yeah,
They didn't give him that
yeah.
for no reason. If they
No,
could
I think
solidify and put him, I think he would eventually take Shaq Thompson's role. Eventually, not right
I
away.
agree.
They got him right in there when Shaq Thompson is packing it up. That's where he gonna go. This man cranked up his
yes, sir.
motorcycle just to hear it and just to rap it 2 times. Really? What are we doing, Spartanburg? Get y'all life.
Anger man at the bar.
I'm not angry. I ain't angry at all. John, are you gonna bless us with your presence down here one time?
I would like to. I was hoping that I would be able to make it out on Saturday. But
Mm.
I am not going to be able to this time, man. Like I really am kind of, dealing with some health stuff, man. That's just, kind of making it difficult for me right
Oh
now.
man,
But
proud to hear that.
man, it's
Oh
all
man.
good, man. God is good. I'm right where He want me to be. So
Yes, sir. Prayers up for you. Prayers up for you,
thank you.
brother.
In His time, He'll make way for me, and I'll be right back where I was. But right now, just I'm just enjoying all that's going on, man. I enjoy listening to y'all, and I listen to y'all more than I do, anything on YouTube, really, because I really enjoy y'all's conversation. I think one of the things that I find very unique is, the dynamic between the Falcon fans and y'all. Like I hadn't really seen that anywhere.
Well,
And
Mhm.
John, some people don't get it, man. That's our first game. It ain't the preseason games. It ain't this and that.
listen,
That's our first game. That's our first. If we don't win this one, I mean, if we don't win in Atlanta or have a good showing or whatever, what are we gonna do going forward? We got to
bro,
get past the first one.
y'all show gonna be lit. That's all I'm gonna
Mhm.
say. That show after that game,
It,
y'all gonna be lit.
Yes, sir. You already
no,
know.
God,
We already
bro,
got.
we are looking. mm, We are looking
Go ahead,
at such a battle. We got to win game one. Ain't no I want to win. We got to win because that's how you know the NFL hate us, John. They gonna take us and play against the Falcons, right? Go to Georgia. Whatever happens transpires there, right? And then come back home and bring them dirty ass Saints to Charlotte. What kind
Here's
of
the
mind
question.
games are they doing?
I would ask this question.
Mhm.
Okay, based on the personnel that you've seen with the Falcons the last couple of years, defensive personnel, like the Falcons treat the league like defense don't exist. Like all they do is draft offensive players.
Mhm.
But when you look at their personnel and you look at what you know so far about Bryce, and not just what people say, not what you and I talk about, but what we
Mhm.
actually see. If he's protected and they can't get to him consistently, what evidence do we have to think that they have anything personnel wise, or that they can throw anything at him that he hasn't seen, where they would completely shut us down offensively? Because I don't see that.
I don't see that either. To be real with you, they got Grady, they got Dupree, they got all those boys over there. But as far as this offensive line, as long as we put somebody in that right guard position to really solidify and make up for Austin Corbett, I think that right there is the glue that hold everything together. Having somebody that's going to be able to protect Bryce on that side. Beyond that, offensively, if the offensive line is all systems go, I think we got enough weapons to get the job done to beat Atlanta.
I see.
Cause
I'll go a step further, Q, and I'm sorry to
mm-hmm,
cut you off.
no, you good.
Getting the job done would be if they don't protect Bryce. Getting the job done would be if Chark gets hurt. If those two things
Oh,
alone, we're not talking about the
oh
defense.
Lord.
I haven't even added in that element. But those two things alone, if those two things stand up, we don't just beat Atlanta, we destroy them. Like, I'm
Mm,
talking absolute. Remember when I said that? When I said we're going to come to, I was joking around, of course, when I said we're going to come and take the head of the bird and put it on a stake and hang it on the top of Varsity in Midtown.
Mm.
But
mm,
but now I'm just being serious and not, just speaking of hyperbole. I don't think they stand a chance against us because I mean, just think about, y'all were talking about Chuba a moment ago. When Christian McCaffrey was traded, Steve Wilkes takes over. We had the number one rushing attack from the time that they took over to the season ended. Number one in the whole NFL. That doesn't, okay, you could say, well, man, we ain't got Foreman no more. Sure, you're right. But we still got that
we got a
offensive
better
line.
back.
We got a better back, and we got that offensive line he was running behind. What are you going to do with that? Because we played y'all twice, and y'all still have a lot of the same personnel, for the exception of a new safety y'all brought in, who, by the way, was getting absolutely annihilated by some mammoth that they have as a receiver. I can't remember his name, that
Well,
I saw
John,
earlier today.
John, we do this show consistently, man. There's a couple of guys that's came on and told me that Miles Sanders is not even going to eclipse 1,000 yards, and I said Deontay Foreman had 914 yards behind this same line, and you go out and get a 1,200, almost a 1,300 yard back that can catch out in the backfield as well, and you bring him in here. They're doubting his ability because they're saying the Philly line made him. And I said, no, sir. No, sir. Goat said it the other day. Once you get to that second level, it's all you, brother. It's
Well,
all on you.
suppose they're
Mm-hmm.
right. So let's call them right for what they said.
Okay.
Suppose Philly line did make him. What do you think he gonna do behind ours?
I don't think we have a bad line. I think Philly
No,
had a
that
top five line.
I'm agreeing
That's
with you.
what he's
That's what
saying.
I'm
That's
saying.
what he's
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I think Ike Ekwonu will emerge this year as the best offensive
Oh
lineman
my
in the NFL.
goodness.
This kid,
Oh,
Woo-wee.
he is a freak, bro. Like
Talk that talk, John.
if he stays healthy all year, he will be the number one ranked, or even over Trent Williams, the number one ranked offensive tackle. Excuse me, offensive lineman, not just tackle or guard, in the entire NFL. Like this kid's, he's the
Mm.
real deal. He's very Jason Peters esque. Like he's not as tall, but he's like big and he's nimble and
mhm,
he's just strong as an ox, man. And I mean, he gives watching on film for yourself. Them clips that shout out to Monty, the homie Monty from 4-Man Rush. But all those
mhm,
clips that
Yes,
him and Dunk,
sir.
shout out to Dunk and Rashad and all them be posting, man. I'm telling
mhm.
you, this dude, he gives Brian Burns all kind of problems. Like Burns can't do nothing with him when they're lined up against each other. This was the same thing that was happening last year in camp.
Mhm. Yeah, they were talking about that at the podium today. You know,
Yeah.
those two
Why
going
you think that
head
boy?
up. Hmm?
I love it. I love my team, man. I love my team, man. This shit, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love my
That
team,
boy pop
man.
lit.
yeah,
Hey, look, man.
yeah.
That's why Icky be going to the podium, be smiling. He gotta go against a warrior every damn day. And you like, shit,
You
if I
know
can do it
what?
with him, who else? Next man
These
up.
Why
these
you think
guys
I
know.
told you
Oh,
this
John
boy
gave me hype.
Brian Burns is gonna have? I think, and this is me personally. He's gonna have north of 15 sacks this year because one, he got this contract out of the way. He don't have to stress and worry about that. He'll be free to come out and play. And then also he gotten bigger. He looks stronger. This guy is going up against Icky every day in practice. Iron sharpens iron, my brothers.
I
And
agree.
I know without a doubt that this guy is getting to the point now where he can go up against any left tackle in the game and get the best of them.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But listen,
sir.
I'm gonna circle back to something I had said because I want to make sure I get this off before. I'm not jumping off just yet, but I want to make sure I get it off before I do. Because I was
Mm.
saying that the bold take on Bryce. I don't. Goat was kind of leading me into it, but then he started laughing and I started laughing and we got off track. Um, I had mentioned in terms of a 10-year career, if he holds up 10 years, I believe one of my bold takes already was that I think he'll be the best quarterback we've ever had. And I love Cam. I love Jake Delhomme. If y'all listen to my interview with Twan, I had listed Jake Delhomme as one of my. He asked me my top 3 favorite Panthers of all time, and Jake was one of them.
Hmm.
Doesn't I didn't say best, just favorite. And the reason is because I feel like Jake lifted us out of a spot where it really could have been rocky for us for a number of years. Um, but I'll say this: if he lasts 10 years, when you accumulate everything together, I think we may have drafted one of the all-time greats. I
So
really
so
believe. I really
so
believe that.
John, so
I ain't
John,
mad at you.
so
I ain't mad
John,
at you.
you do realize Cam Newton transcended football. He was the face of the league
For a year,
entirely for a year.
for one
Or
year.
well, not for 1 year. I could say that year before, even before the 15-1 season, he was already being super Cam. He was already doing the same stuff. It just he did it on a national stage in 15, and it took that team to almost an undefeated streak.
So what
Yeah.
are you saying
I
though?
think the lead up to 15 was him going on.
I don't get where you're going, Q. I mean, are you
So
saying
what
he put
what
a
I'm
team on his
saying
back?
is he's saying that potentially if Bryce Young can eclipse that, that's a tall glass of milk to drink right there. You do
That's
realize
actually
that, right?
no, because to me that's
Not
an
much.
easy. That's easy to pass. You want to know why? All he's
Please
got to
tell.
do is have. If Bryce Young has two, let me spell it out for you. If Bryce Young has 2 years where he throws, let's say 20 to like, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about when I talk about his mental acumen. Today, Bryce Young threw a pick. C.J. Henderson picked him off, pick 6, as a matter of fact. When Vashti from Carolina Blitz posted it right after it happened, she said, from her vantage point, it looked like a miscommunication because of how the receiver was running the route. When Frank Reich went to the podium, he backed that up. So if you take that back, a miscommunication is the only interception that this kid has thrown since camp has started. And he threw one in a similar situation in OTAs. This kid doesn't turn the ball over that much. So there's one point that he could do consistently. Here's another one. Cam only one time in his entire career in the NFL had a completion percentage over 60%. It was that year with North Turner in 2017. And it was 67% completion percentage. Now, if you want to make an argument that the organization failed Cam Newton, you're not going to get an argument from me because I would agree with you. But if Bryce goes 2 years back to back with sub 60% completion
He
percentage,
already surpassed him.
there's another surpassing. Let me give you another one. Another one would be 6-10, 7-9, 12-4, 7-8-1, 15, 6-10, 11-5, and then a whole lot of 5 wins, 6 wins, and then you're hurt for the rest of your career. All I have to do is go 2 seasons with 10 or more wins, and I have already surpassed him because I've done it back to back.
Hey, John, go ahead and turn it off. Turn it off, John. Turn it off, John. Well, I didn't know you were going to debate the whole Black Cat Panther podcast tonight. Damn. This man went crazy just now.
Yeah, he did.
But John,
he broke that down lovely.
Is he gonna change the culture like the other guy did?
The culture already changing.
Bryce will be, from a marketing perspective,
Yes.
he'll be a bigger star than Cam Newton ever was.
Yes.
For us. Oh, yes.
Say what?
Well, think about it this way. When Cam was coming out of college, many people were already, even people, like, I was talking to Keith about this earlier. The whole Cam is a crybaby, all that, people calling him scam and stuff like that. The crybaby stuff. You know where that came from? The crybaby Cam part? That didn't come from some outside source. That wasn't because of the national media. That was home team. If you remember when Cam was sulking on the sideline sometimes,
with the towel on his head,
with the towel and all that.
They didn't like that, man. They didn't like that.
There was a picture floating around of Cam Newton doing the Superman with Hello Kitty in the middle of his chest. Where do you think that came from? That was the Charlotte Observer. That was home team that started that.
Wow.
So see, Cam was already.
Say that again, John. I think you need to break that down one more time. I think they gonna miss it.
Okay.
Say that one more time. It didn't come from outside sources. It came from where?
That was home team. That is not the sentiment about this kid coming in. People didn't like Cam Newton when he was drafted. Like, a lot of people didn't like him here locally. That Hello Kitty picture, the Hello Kitty picture came from the Charlotte Observer.
But John, can we agree on one thing? If the media likes you, they are going to allow you to be great. Yeah. And that's what they're doing with Bryce Young right now. The media never cared for Cam Newton because of the whole laptop situation, the whole him.
Right. That's what John's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, okay, I can say that on one hand, but it's not without reason. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There was a moment that happened in Cam Newton's career very early where I questioned if I was going to like this guy moving forward. And it was a Thursday night football game in his second year where we were down 28-0. And he scored, and on national TV, acted like he was flying off and doing the Superman. Like, he did it more elaborate than at any point that he had done it at that point. And people were like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, I like this, but man, you got to have some self-awareness, bro.
Hey, and let me John, a guy told me that a couple years back, maybe 3 years back, I'm the biggest advocate for Cam. I loved him when he was.
Me too, man.
And So we're going back and forth and
My
back and
bad.
forth. And he alluded to that same thing, that same game you was talking about. Man, nobody don't want to see that, this and that,
Hmm.
you lose, you getting your butt whipped, and you playing Superman. At that and but my only comeback on that one was that was when that was I think maybe
2013.
2013, 14, yeah, 13, 14. So like, I was like, he's still a young kid. That was
That
my
go.
only comeback for that.
Uh, nah.
Young
I
kid, having fun, this and that, loving the
Yeah,
game.
but
That's
but but
all I was.
LeBron always knew what the heck was going on around him.
Yeah.
And like I said, if he can get it, he laid the blueprint for all athletes out there to always be one aware of what you're doing, who's seeing you, and who's picking up whatever it is you putting down.
Cam ain't
Q.
got
I
that
mean,
yet.
Q. I'm gonna
Cam
Cam
say
is
still ain't
something,
got
just
that
man.
yet.
he's not socially aware. He's not aware of anything.
I think you hit the nail on the head. He lacks self awareness big time.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Mhm.
gonna say this, and I never thought I would say this publicly because I've talked about this privately, and I'm gonna say this here on this platform. And it's okay if people push back and don't like it. I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
But I told Keebs is my dude, man. Like me, I talk to Keeb about everything. Like that's my little brother. Like
Hmm.
even more than just football, just life in general, right?
Mhm.
And Keeb and I were talking this evening on the normal, sometimes 3-hour conversations that we have. And I told Keeb something, man, because of what I'm observing, even happening right now, this very moment. I said, the longer we go, especially if Bryce has success, and I hate this, man, because in this sports landscape, legacy has become just as much of an important topic as what's happening current.
Yeah.
The longer we see, the more the things that we see we love about Bryce are going to unfortunately highlight the things that we absolutely hated about Cam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the reason I say that is because yes, you can blame the organization because they deserve a lion's share of the blame. But I think people are going to start to understand that Cam Newton may have been a lot of missed potential as well. And follow me on this.
Hmm.
You know, Bryce said something in an interview, and this was early. This was one of the things that kind of sold me on him outside of the play. He was talking about how people commentate on the game. He was basically talking about you and me, like you guys and what I do,
Hmm.
YouTubers and, people like that. And he talked about how grateful he was to be a part of something that people could enjoy to a point where they could debate it. Now, whether or not they talk about him positively or negatively doesn't really bother him because he can't control that. But what he was very much appreciative of was to be able to provide content for conversation. And I was like, man, this dude this is crazy. And so
Yeah.
when I heard that, and then I thought about what I saw the other day. Another situation where another heckling kid, is talking junk to an absolute, and make no mistake about it, regardless of what we're talking about right now, an NFL legend. What you see right now, we talked about this on one of your last shows. Cam Newton, kind of mistakenly, opened the door for a lot of what you see going on in the NFL right now. What do I mean by that?
Hmm.
This whole zone read, air raid, mesh concept offense
Yep.
was a result of if Cam Newton came into the league on a non-lockout season, he would have been treated like every other quarterback that came before him that can run. Hey, man, we're going to try to formulate you into a pocket passer. But in the meantime, if you don't see it on your first read, just take off. And I've often said that if Michael Vick would have had the opportunity to have a Shane Steichen and the league actually accept and, say, okay, we're going to bring in a zone read, he would have, they would have been unstoppable. That no, you wouldn't have been able
Unstoppable.
to at all.
I
You know what
got a
I'm saying?
question for the
Hmm.
panel.
Hmm.
And this what rubbed me wrong with Cam. Did he mature late in his career?
No,
Yeah. I don't think he ever matured. What you
no.
mean? Do
I
it.
Nah.
just asked because he
Look
rubbed
at
me the
him
wrong
just the
way.
other day. Look at him just the other day, Jay.
Oh, you talking
He's
about
doing a
mentally?
gesture.
Are you talking about
Yeah,
Jay?
mentally, not
Are you talking about his game? Or are you talking
Oh no,
about
Which
mental?
yes,
one?
I would say both.
both.
I'm still
Ooh
waiting on
wee.
him
Because
to grow up.
I agree with John. Like the game, his second year in the NFL, he dabbing on the wrong time. Like you supposed to be focused and take this game over. You worried about dabbing and branding yourself. It just rubbed me the wrong way as a fan. So that's just me though.
But
Cam is Cam Cam
I
is
couldn't agree
dealing
more.
with he dealing with I'm not in the league. He's my legendary status. Where is it at? And unfortunately, he's on the defense all the time. You know what I mean? And then when you're like that and you feel like you're being attacked, um, he's not mature enough to not learn to walk away. He's always on defense mode. Like there
On
was
defense mode.
But
man
Pop,
to
Pop,
mhm.
that's the
ask
thing what
yourself a
John talking
question.
about.
Ask yourself a question. Whose fault is that? And let me and here's why I say that. Who told you to
It-
start showing up to press conferences dressed like Medea, or the
Yeah,
Lions,
Ah.
or wearing the
yeah.
Lions Club
Come
hats,
on,
or dressed like the
John. But
Peanut Man?
John, you said it though earlier
But
though, John.
I don't
he was
I
putting
don't
You
his
said
brand
it. You
first.
said it. What you
so
said it come from the home team. If you feeling
so
all that from the home team, what are you gonna do?
But he
But
flipped that
go.
narrative. By that time, that narrative was flipped. Goat. When Cam went on that run, that tear in 2015, he was still wearing his JC or his Belk line suits and had a
Belk suits,
fade
Masika
and
hats.
yes, and looked the part. When the Super
But
Bowl, the day we or the Super Bowl week, what did he show up in? Them pants that was black and gold, and it's been the same thing ever since. It
Hmm.
changed after that.
he,
When his
he, he
status
he tried to
changed,
rebrand himself. He tried to
yes, he
rebrand
did.
himself.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, his athletic ability didn't go as far as where he wanted his brand to take him.
And
Well,
that's
And
another thing.
when
if
that
he'd
back
have thought,
when that backfired, then he was left with what?
And that
Now
brings
you
another
chal- now
interesting
you
point.
challenge now you challenging
Go
teenagers that say you ain't got no ring.
go
but
look.
he should have put the energy into the brand. The
Right.
energy he put into the brain should have put into football.
Keep the main thing the main thing. Go
Yeah.
look at when Cam was cutting, he was putting out all those videos. I talked about this on the show. Got a lot of pushback, but a lot of people turned
Hmm.
around and was like, "Yo, I see what you mean." Go back and look at
Hmm.
every workout video because I posted them. I used them as a I made when Cam had the whole "I'm back." I used a lot of those workout videos for a hype video that I made for the whole "I'm back" situation.
mhm,
But go look at Cam, how he looked and what he was doing when we cut him. Cam looked like a freak of nature. He was humongous, but all he was doing was lifting weights. Is lifting, 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 lifting.
Yeah, but John.
What's the last video you've seen of him throwing? And what
Yeah,
has
you're
Cam
right.
struggled with the most in his career?
I can tell
Mid-level
you
accuracy.
when he tried to shit. My bad for my French, but when he tried to shit on these pro days, that's the last time you really seen Cam throw.
But think
He
about it.
mhm.
Cam's
Bad
body
timing.
went down when he stopped eating meat and started doing all that vegan lean
Yeah, when he
stuff that
went
he
Mhm.
vegan.
wanted to do. Because you lose your body, man. You lose the solid part. Like Ocho Cinco talks about this all the time. I do
Mhm.
the same thing that I've been doing since I was in high school. I eat McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? His body is used to that. But when you switch up and you start doing all this, I'm eating nothing but plants and all that stuff. When you need that protein that you're gonna reach that deep down in the fourth quarter that you actually need, it ain't there.
So my
I
thing
agree.
with Cam John, it's like I love the man, but when people talk about him, it's like I can't relate because I had anger towards him because of those reasons. And as a fan, like a young fan,
Mhm.
I wanted more at quarterback. And maybe if I had a YouTube channel, I probably would have got a lot of backlash myself. But I wasn't worried about YouTube then. I was just frustrated as a Carolina Panther fan that have this childish quarterback. And I'm not trying to bash him. Like he's human. Like he can live his life how he want to. But as a
Mhm.
fan, I was upset. I
Yeah.
I don't know when I forgave Cam for him being childish and not maturing as a quarterback for my team, but it is what it is at this point.
Well, Jay, I think you had good reason to because you know, if we just are being honest, we could honestly say, like, can you remember I made this point earlier? Very rarely do guys have both. Some guys have just a killer instinct, you know, and that was Jordan. Jordan willed himself to become as great as he became. Jordan will tell you himself, if his brother was his height, he would have annihilated him. Jordan's
Yeah.
brother Larry was ridiculous. He was the best athlete in the family. I mean, 5'8", and
Mm-hmm.
he doing, like, you know, backwards dunks, and I mean, and but Jordan's will was what got him to that level. Like I said, when he was coming out of college, he wasn't the highest recruited. When he was going to college, you know, when he was at Laney High School, got cut. You know,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, they've been saying LeBron. I mean, people was talking about LeBron when he was in 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for
But think
LeBron to have,
about it.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, no,
But think about it. Jordan's brother used to whip him into shape. He took it personal, losing so much to them every day.
he
You know what
did.
I'm saying?
He did.
He talked about his number one drive was to beat them, and once he realized he got good enough to beat him, he was like, "Well, okay, let's take this to the next level. I could do this on the next level." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, and he did. And not only that, Q, but like I said, LeBron was not just that talented, but he also has that. People talk about the killer instinct. Okay, if you want to argue that, I wouldn't disagree. LeBron and Jordan's instinct is much different. LeBron didn't have a father, which a lot of your confidence in life does come from your father. Um, in the way that Jordan had the instinct, but he did have the work ethic. The work ethic is clearly there. You don't play for as long as he's played at the highest level he's played at and not work your tail off, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think part of Jay Issue's issue, no pun intended, double entendre, don't even ask me how. But I think part of that, man, is you kind of see some wasted potential, because if Cam had that kind of
Yep.
focus, you be looking at something you've never seen before.
Bro. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and that does kind of frustrate you, because you could see, like, I mean, how do you explain him going with not even, I mean, think about Cam's 20. I think Cam's best body of work was 2017. I mean, sure, he had
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did better than 2015.
yeah, he had McCaffrey, but Brenton Burson, Kalen
That complete
Clay,
that completion percentage was so nice that year too.
67%.
Yes,
And then he
highest
was
ever.
he was on the same tear that next year before the shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
And you start asking yourself, like, man, like, where was, I mean, I know some of it was offensive play calling, but it was also Cam putting in the work. Where was this at? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
he started challenging himself to watch more film, and he started because this is when Cam is like, okay, I just been to the Super Bowl, I want to get back.
Mm-hmm.
I just accepted that loss. I don't want to feel that again. So it was like, okay, how do I take this and make this bigger and better? What is Tom Brady doing after a loss? He getting right back into it and working.
Mm-hmm.
So he was challenging himself to be greater. He was pushing himself.
Yeah.
He just wasn't smart enough. Oh, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. That's too strong of a statement. He just couldn't consistently put it together.
Right.
Going up at the bars. He can't not consistently put it together. Hands over here hugging
Could.
the trash can. What
Oh my
damn?
gosh.
But is
What
that the
damn?
some of that falls on the organization as well,
Yeah,
far
I
as
I
what
think a
they
great
put
deal of that
around them.
does go. I really do.
I told you about Marty.
But at the same time, guys, like, you do have to ask yourself this question too. Why, Leo talked about this.
Hmm.
Um, Leo talked about the weapons that they brought in, the Kelvin Benjamin, the Devin Funches, drafting these super tall guys. Well, why would they do that? Because on these corner routes, sometimes the ball would go 800 feet above, Philly Brown's head,
Hmm.
where he couldn't make a play on the ball. That's why. So they got him taller targets to try to, help him out with that. And he
But
improved that, because a lot of those guys, Benjamin was gone in 2017. Funches was still there, but he didn't have Greg consistently, because of injury. And so,
mhm.
there were guys on the roster. Kalen Clay was small, but you had guys on the roster who were solid, but they weren't the really tall guys. And but you guys answered the question. He put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a shame because, like I said, had he not get injured, where would we could potentially be? We talking about a different ending to his career. I mean, he could have potentially came out, make the playoffs a couple of more times, and you're looking at Cam Newton in a different light.
I agree. I still look at him in the light that he deserves. But what I will say, though, is that it's just really unfortunate that, like, man, would you think about,
I feel
when that LSU kid said what he said to Cam Newton? I mean, sure, guys have been heckled before, and some of this lies on Cam. Like, man, you don't have to answer every criticism that comes at you. But
now,
the question
why
I
did
would
you
have,
even
man,
go over there?
yeah, man, like
but it's always at his camps. Instead of he stopped playing with them kids.
Yeah, but Q, man, when's the last time you seen
Yeah, you make
somebody
it sound
come
like
up? When's the last time
You
you
said,
see somebody go up to Jim Kelly and be like, "Hey, man, you lost 4 straight Super Bowls," or Marino, "You only made it to 1," or
well, think
whatever. Like,
about it.
you just don't see
They
that.
they know the personality of a Jim Kelly is different. They know Cam Newton likes to interact with these kids, and these kids are going to heckle him because one, that's the great Cam Newton,
And they're
and,
gonna get
and,
famous off of it.
and
Yeah.
they're gonna get famous off of it. Yes, and everybody looking for their 5 minutes of fame.
But as a fan, as someone who reveres him the way that we do, does that not frustrate the heck out of you, man? Because it does
They
me.
do. They
Yeah,
do.
hell
it do,
yeah.
I,
it do me.
I feel like he melting before
Like,
my very own eyes because I'm
yeah.
one of those guys right now,
Wow.
John. I believe right now if we brought Cam back right now, I'm one of those guys, and I know it's unpopular. I think he would be still very serviceable right now with this line as it is right now with the
I
weapons that
agree.
we got.
I agree.
I'm one of those guys that still down to the core believe in Cam, even when I don't think Cam believe in himself.
I don't think Cam is interested in football. His lifestyle shows us that.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think if Cam came in and had a chance to, go through camp. I mean, Cam's older now. Like, the grueling, camp is hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, football camp is extremely hard. It's hard for young guys. I can't imagine how it is for these guys. So, like, camp is difficult. He's not gonna want to go through that, especially not somewhere like Spartanburg or whatever, And so, excuse me, like, yeah, I don't personally. I think if the Lamar situation were to happen, or Deshaun, and I don't even know if they're, because I think that offense is a little too complex, but it would have to be an interesting situation to happen for Cam. But I would venture to say that it wouldn't shock me if we be watching Cam come to Carolina, signing on one day to hang it up, in the next within the next couple of months. Yeah, I think it's over.
Yeah, I've been said. I told Goat this the other day. I said Cam might as well go ahead and get himself prepped for the Hall of Honor because
And the
he
Hall
one
of
of
Fame.
those guys. I don't think he'll make the Hall of Fame.
He is
But
100% a Hall of Famer.
I don't think so, John.
Not first ballot, but he's a Hall of Famer. Q.
They're going to put a guy like Eli Manning ahead of him, and
Eli
because he
Manning's
won
the
two
Hall of
Super
Famer.
Bowls.
Yeah,
exactly. But who got better numbers? Cam Newton got better numbers than him.
Cam Newton is everything that they thought Andrew Luck was going to be. He just didn't have the same team.
Look how many guys Phillips is going to go ahead of him. Cam Newton is not going to go ahead of Aaron Rodgers and the crew. Look how long he gonna have to wait. It's going to be 10 to 15 years before he get a chance to go in.
Q, you talking first ballot? I completely agree with you there. You talking about first ballot guys, like not Eli Manning, but Rodgers.
Well, you
Breeze,
know what I mean. Yeah,
he's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yeah. But no, I think unless Jalen or Justin Fields, who, by the way, let me just say this real quick for the Chicago Bears fans that might be listening, because I really can't wait to get back to, because I was completely oblivious to this. I didn't realize that Chicago versus Carolina was a thing, but like, I am definitely going to be back by the time we play them. Because I'm going to say then publicly what I've been screaming since the moment it happened, like Todd McShay was. I think them passing on Bryce was the biggest mistake in the history of their franchise. And I think Justin Fields is a bust. That's why I was never, when people say that stuff, I don't see it. I really
You
don't
and me
see.
both, John.
It didn't
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
not
see
make
it.
high on
sense for
him.
them though, John.
I wasn't high on him neither.
It didn't make sense for them to go back in the draft, get a guy when you already had a guy that's on your roster, and you didn't have no weapons for that guy. So you basically bringing in another rookie quarterback to see what he can be. When you already see, okay, Justin Fields in the NFL, this guy, if you give him weapons, can take you a little bit further than what potentially a Bryce could. I hate to
I
say
think that.
it.
Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think they made the right call. No, you
I
good.
don't.
I think they made the right call though.
I don't at
Yeah, because
all.
I
And
think with that coaching staff right over there too, it was they ain't gonna do nothing with Bryce neither. They
I
wasn't
think
saying
um,
nothing
whoever
with a
they got
Bryce.
at quarterback right now is damned if he do or damned if he don't. So
Yeah, with
I
that
it's a
coaching staff
I
over
would
situation.
there.
agree with that.
They in
I would agree with
quicksand.
that. But I think that over there, it's potential that he becomes what Burrow was to the Bengals. Because if
Mm,
you remember it's kind of a storybook situation because he's from Cincinnati, but
hmm
they, they were 2-14 when they drafted him, and he tore his ACL's first year, second year comes back and goes to the Super Bowl. Um, I think that Chicago would have eventually figured out. They would have just started putting weapons after weapons after weapons around him. But man, I'm telling you that with Fields, man, it's just because I think that people saw what happened with Jalen Hurts and make the comparison like, oh man, we can do that with Justin Fields. They're two
Hmm.
completely
That's not
different.
a comparison. Yeah.
No, because you're right, issue. It's not even so much the players, it's the person. They're two completely different people. When Justin answered that question about the Russian quarterback, I guarantee you if Jalen's asked that question, he doesn't put himself in that conversation. That's mentality. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with Justin saying that because Justin had an incredible year rushing as a quarterback, one of the best years ever.
hmm
But it's a little early when you only, when you 5-22 in your career to be saying you one of the best rushing quarterbacks ever. Because all them other people that you named in that list, they win.
Right. Want to hang your hat up on the leading Russian quarterback? Okay.
I
Well,
can
we'll
tell
see
you,
how long that lasts.
let me give you a couple of guys that's worked out for. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Randall Cunningham. Randall had
hmm
I'm not taking anything away from Randall, but Randall, I think his name is heavier than the production, if we're just being
hmm
honest, because he was in the Warren Moon era, and Warren
Yeah.
Moon's one of my favorite quarterbacks ever.
hmm
But, you know, yeah, I mean,
Could we add Cam to that list?
to what?
Uh, their talent is based off of, well, running.
Talking about
No,
Russian running quarterbacks? Nah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I think, like I said, with Cam, this is my opinion. I think Cam is a lot of wasted potential. Um, but I also think that Cam was a victim of just what he was so great at was his rushing ability, and it's set up for him to pass well, especially because Cam for at least the first 4 years of his career led the league in both completion percentage and yards per attempt. Because of how long the plays would be drawn up. But I do think that the running element helped him tremendously. But that 1 year, see, this is what makes this conversation so interesting and multifaceted, because you can make an argument that 1 year that they started adding more bubble screens with C-Mac and halfback screens and, shallow crosses and things like that. That's what, they took Cam's ability to run away from him as much, and he only had to do it when he had
hmm
to do it. And we saw the result. So what happens if the previous coaching staff does that? It just kind of makes you wonder.
But I think Chud was probably the best coordinator for Cam because he used that dual tight end set.
I would agree.
And
But
and
but
I
that's
think if they would have gave him that his entire career, because I
Yeah,
think
but
Turner them was good. He had his best completion percentage under Turner, but I just think that Chud
how,
was that guy. He was brilliant.
Q, how many teams have a Shockey and Olsen? That's one thing we're leaving out of this
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Well, wait a minute now. That was a Shockey on one leg, and that was a ascended Olsen
That's
that
true.
that
That's
was
true.
fresh from the Bears.
Shockey on one leg is probably his production is better than about 80%. 80% of the league's tight end. So I think we gotta make sure we
Uh,
understand who we're talking about here.
look, the Giants got rid of Shockey that year. And they said we done with him, and we picked him up. He came out and gave us 500 yards in his first year, and
Mhm.
him and Olsen split 500 yards, which is 1,000 yards from your tight end position. That's
Mhm.
one heck of a blanket for a young quarterback, and that's why Cam looked so well in his first year.
I agree.
400 yards back to back. He went to Arizona. He went to Green Bay. He took it to Aaron Rodgers.
I remember that quote Roger said, "Man, I'm glad I'm playing him now."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Everybody
remember.
said then if this guy clicks with it, we have something. We got us a quarterback. Ron Rivera was shocked. Ron Rivera said he didn't show this in preseason.
Yeah.
No, excuse my French. No shit, Ron.
Well, I'm gonna have to jump off here in a second, but I think that the very questions that you guys raised from that previously, I don't think those exist in this situation. I think that this kid has shown on multiple levels that he is just, ready. I mean, like I said, it's just too much to combine together to come up with to say, like, okay, where can we find the hole? Like, what's the biggest issue? And if the issue, as I want to say this was Greg Cosell that said this when he was talking about Bryce's height. I've heard this a couple of times, but I think it was Greg Cosell that said it like the strongest, I should say, that if Bryce was even 6'2", which, prototypical quarterback size like 6'4", not too tall, not too short. But if he was like 6'2", he was probably the best quarterback prospect that he's ever prospected on tape. Like, he's not seen anything like him because of what was thrown at him at such a young age. Bill O'Brien said that, and y'all talked about this. We, heard this quote that the smartest quarterback that he's had beyond him was Tom Brady. And Bill coached Deshaun. Bill's had, he had Mac and Tua. He's had quite a few people,
Mm-hmm.
In his time. And he said what this guy can do both with execution and his ability to process it's different. You don't really see it. So that's why I was saying, man, like I'll end by saying this, as I said again. If the guy holds up 10 years, we probably drafted one of the all-time greats, which for us, whether it culminates into Super Bowls or not, it'd just be really cool to know that we had that. But I think that it's going to result with what they're doing, with the money and the willingness for Tepper to not only, it's not even so much money, but to listen and hear, like, hey, these are the guys you need. This is the kind of stuff that I think it will result in Lombardis. My guess is, my prediction personally is within Bryce's first 3 years, if the defense comes out the way that we think it will, we'll be hosting the Lombardi within 3 years. I really believe that.
I'll be. I'll be. Man, look,
Three to
we
four. Three to
appreciate you, brother
four.
John. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody, make sure y'all go and follow One Carolina Podcast. Show love right here. The brother's prolific, man. I can't say it enough. Every time he on, I'm just sitting back, just listening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all giving me an opportunity and a platform to come on and chop it up with you guys, man. I'm honored. I always am. I love y'all's show. I love what y'all are doing. I look forward to seeing y'all grow. And as I mentioned to you, I'm a DM, a phone call, text message, or whatever away for whatever you need, man.
No doubt. Appreciate it
Yes,
too.
sir. Yes,
No
Yes,
sir.
doubt, man.
sir.
Y'all boys have a good night, man. Be blessed.
All right,
You
you
All right,
too.
too.
John.
Take care.
Go, 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 man. What a good one, Doc. What a
Oh
good
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
As I drive down these highways heading to Spartanburg, man, I have to say I'm so proud to one get here to training camp, to be able to interact with some of you guys. This means, it means the world to us to be able to come out and see some of you guys. So make sure that y'all come out to that P&P meet and greet. We will definitely be in the building. I believe that's at 3 p.m. Uh, on top of that, we're going to be out at training camp Saturday, getting taking a part of some of the activities. And if you happen to see us out on Wofford College or something like that tomorrow, man, show some love, man. We're gonna be out and about just walking around. So pull up on your boys. Fellas. Go, Jay, what you got to say?
We closing it out.
Oh, that's up to y'all. That's up to y'all.
That's what. Hey, that's up to you. Hey, I'm saying the same thing. Up to y'all.
Go.
You,
What you got?
you, man. I'm just like you, man. We easing on down the road right here on the way to Spartanburg. Um, like you said, man, we engulfed in this team so much, fan talking about it, you know, from a perspective of it's a lifestyle almost to just be associated with this team like this, in this type of way, and on this YouTube platform. And if, like I said, sometimes if the organization can see what we see, we probably would have already have a Lombardi because of, like we just spoke, the talent that we had, like the Cam Newtons and the Greg Olsons and the Luke Kuechly's and Julius Peppers and so on and so on. But if the organization would have did a couple other things or made another move or spent the money in free agency or drafted this person, we done shows, where we said Marty Herney put us in the hole and this guy did this and this guy did that. I mean, the hindsight's 2020. Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, but we as fans take it to that level.
Hmm.
But I
Shout
hope
out to
uh
shout out to Morgan Captain Mo, man. You see what he said right there?
what's that?
He said,
I wasn't
"This
even
was
looking.
a much needed show tonight. Appreciate y'all boys. That's 100."
Oh, oh, no doubt, no doubt, Cap. Cap's always in the Cap's always in the chat, man. And Cap, man. And I go another route. Just to finish saying that, like with the players and all that stuff. That tangent I was on. But hey, man, we appreciate Cap, man, for being a fan in here, coming in supporting us and doing it like yourself. I see you on other platforms and things like that. We ain't the ones that care about all that, man. We know you're a fan of the team. We know you're a fan. You come as yourself, your comments and everything. We appreciate everything you do, man. We appreciate everything all y'all guys do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the issue you got anything before we probably gonna get up out of here, I guess.
Uh, I mean, shout out to my co-host for welcoming me with open arms. Shout out to John, One Carolina, blessing the channel tonight, and shout out to everybody in the chat.
Yes, sir, man. Look, subscribe to the channel and show that love, man. We out.